Welcome, brave souls, to a journey through the shadowy stages of Nevada, where the lights never truly go out and the applause of the past still echoes. Tonight, we step behind the velvet curtains and into the haunted halls of the Silver State's most spectral theaters. From ghostly performers to mysterious whispers in the wings, these are the stages where actors never truly left, where history and the supernatural entwined. Prepare yourself for tales of lingering spirits, unexplained sounds, and the mysteries that make these theaters come alive after dark. This is 25 Haunted Theaters in Nevada, where actors never left. The Piper Opera House in Virginia City is more than just a relic of the 19th century. It is a place where history and the supernatural intertwine. Constructed during the height of the town's silver boom, the Opera House once hosted elegant performances, grand balls, and traveling shows that drew audiences from miles around. Its ornate facade, with intricate woodwork and stately windows, reflects a period of prosperity and refinement. Yet, beyond its grand appearance, the Opera House harbors tales of sorrow and lingering spirits, the most famous being that of a spectral woman who is said to haunt its corridors. Visitors to the Piper Opera House often speak of a particular presence, a woman dressed in a flowing gown of ethereal quality. She is believed to be the spirit of a talented opera singer who met a tragic end within the very walls of the theater. According to local lore, she was preparing for a major performance when an unforeseen accident or untimely illness cut her life short, leaving her unfinished aria echoing through the building. Patrons have described the sensation of a cold breeze passing through the hall when no doors or windows are open, a chill that seems to accompany her mournful apparition. The haunting is most frequently reported during the witching hour, when the theater is quiet and the shadows of its history seem to grow longer. Visitors have recounted hearing a soft, sorrowful melody drifting from the main stage, a haunting aria sung by no visible performer. The notes carry a weight of grief, as though the singer's spirit is replaying a final, unfulfilled performance. Some say the voice rises and falls in intensity, filling the empty theater with emotion that transcends the living world. The sound has a clarity and resonance that seems to defy explanation, leaving those who hear it both captivated and unsettled. Sightings of the spectral woman are not limited to auditory experiences. Many have reported glimpsing a figure in a flowing gown gliding through the upper balcony or lingering near the stage. Some patrons describe her as looking directly at them, with eyes that seem to convey both longing and sorrow. Others have seen her disappear through solid walls or vanish entirely when approached, as if she is tethered to the opera house in a state of eternal performance. Staff members have occasionally felt a gentle touch on their shoulders or the brush of a gown along their arm, sensations attributed to her lingering presence. The opera house itself seems to amplify the spectral activity. Its wooden floors, high ceilings, and intricate architecture create a unique acoustic environment, which may explain why sounds are so vividly experienced. Yet, the consistency of reports from different individuals over decades suggests something more than acoustics. Stage props have been known to move slightly, without explanation, and occasionally, the faint scent of perfume or powder associated with the singer's era is detected in empty rooms. Some performers have expressed a sense of being observed by unseen eyes during rehearsals, a presence that seems protective rather than malevolent, as if guiding them through the performance she never completed. Local historians have delved into the archives of the Piper Opera House, uncovering stories of ambitious performers and tragic incidents. The town's newspaper archives recount the opera singer's rise to prominence, her captivating voice drawing audiences from across the region. Her death, whether by accident or illness, is noted in several accounts, marking the end of a promising career. Over the years, theatergoers have passed down oral histories of her appearances and the strange occurrences associated with her spirit. The consistency of these tales lends credence to the notion that the opera house retains memories of its past, with this particular spirit serving as the most poignant reminder. Paranormal investigators have taken a special interest in the Piper Opera House, utilizing infrared cameras, audio recorders, and electromagnetic field detectors. Many have documented unusual phenomena. Unexplained shadows appear in the footage, Objects occasionally move without physical cause, and faint audio recordings capture sounds resembling singing or murmured lines from old scripts. While skeptics attribute these experiences to imagination or environmental factors, the sheer volume and consistency of reports suggest that there is something uniquely unsettling about the theater, something that transcends ordinary explanation. The Piper Opera House has also become a destination for thrill seekers and ghost enthusiasts. Visitors enter hoping to experience the legendary sightings or hear the ghostly aria for themselves. Night tours allow guests to explore the building when it is devoid of daytime activity, providing an eerie opportunity to encounter the paranormal. Many recount feeling a presence following them, hearing footsteps behind them on empty staircases, or glimpsing movement in peripheral vision. For some, the experience is exhilarating. For others, it is deeply unnerving, leaving an indelible impression that lingers long after they leave Virginia City. Despite the hauntings, the Opera House remains a cherished cultural landmark. It continues to host performances and community events, bridging the past and present. The tales of the ghostly singer have become part of its identity, enhancing the mystique and allure of the building. Visitors often find themselves walking the aisles with a heightened sense of awareness, listening intently for the faint echo of a long-lost voice and imagining the life and passion of the woman who may still perform nightly from beyond the grave. In essence, the Piper Opera House is a place where history and the supernatural converge. Its grand architecture and storied past are complemented by the lingering presence of a spirit whose artistry was cut tragically short. The combination of sight, sound, and sensation reported by witnesses over the years paints a picture of a theater alive with memories, where performances never truly end. The spectral woman in the flowing gown remains the central figure of this haunting, a poignant reminder of talent, tragedy, and the enduring power of art. For those who visit, the experience is unforgettable. Brush with a world where the applause never fades, and the final aria lingers eternally in the air, calling out to anyone willing to listen. The Washoe Club and Haunted Museum in Virginia City is a place where history and the supernatural collide, creating an atmosphere both fascinating and unnerving. Built during the height of Virginia City's silver boom, the Washoe Club was once a lavish social hub for miners, gamblers, and the city's elite. Its ornate interiors, featuring rich wood paneling, elegant chandeliers, and finely crafted furniture, reflected the opulence of the era. Patrons would gather to socialize, gamble, and enjoy performances, creating an environment of lively entertainment and whispered intrigue. Today, the building stands as a museum, preserving artifacts and stories from its colorful past, but it also harbors a reputation for paranormal activity that draws visitors seeking both history and a brush with the unknown. Visitors entering the Washoe Club often feel an immediate chill, as though stepping back in time into a world where spirits linger. Cold spots are frequently reported, particularly near the original gambling rooms and along narrow hallways that once led to private parlors. Some say these temperature drops are accompanied by a sudden sense of unease, as if unseen eyes are watching every movement. The air often feels thick with history, a subtle reminder of the countless interactions, secrets, and perhaps betrayals that occurred within these walls. Flickering lights are another common occurrence within the Washoe Club, even when the building's electrical systems are fully operational. Visitors have witnessed chandeliers and lamps dimming or flickering without cause. Some claim these anomalies occur in patterns, as though trying to communicate or reenact events from the past. Staff members have also reported lights turning on and off independently, often in areas associated with former gambling tables or private rooms. Such experiences contribute to the sense that the past is not entirely at rest, and that the spirits of former patrons continue to roam the halls, observing the living as they explore. Shadowy figures are perhaps the most compelling aspect of the Washoe Club's hauntings. Guests frequently describe glimpses of shapes moving quickly at the edges of vision, figures in period clothing, darting between rooms or disappearing behind walls. Some witnesses report seeing a man in a top hat pacing the original gaming floor, while others describe the fleeting presence of women in long dresses, perhaps former patrons or socialites of the 19th century. These apparitions often vanish when approached, leaving only the echoes of footsteps or the lingering impression of someone just beyond reach. The haunted museum portion of the building amplifies the eerie atmosphere, housing artifacts ranging from antique gambling tables and period costumes to personal items of historical significance. The museum preserves tangible connections to the past. Visitors report objects seemingly moving on their own or being found in different locations than when last observed. Jewelry, documents, and even glassware have been noted to shift inexplicably, sometimes leaving guests convinced that the spirits are interacting with their surroundings. It is as if the museum itself is a living record of memory and presence, with echoes of those who once walked its halls lingering in subtle, unsettling ways. Audio anomalies are also part of the Washoe Club's haunted reputation. Guests have claimed to hear whispers, laughter, and conversations when no one is present. Some describe hearing the clinking of glasses or the shuffle of cards from the gambling rooms, as though the building is replaying moments frozen in time. Others report hearing footsteps approaching along empty corridors or the creak of floorboards under invisible weight. Paranormal investigators visiting the site have captured faint EVP recordings, including indistinct voices and murmurs, adding to the wealth of anecdotal evidence surrounding the site. The history of the Washoe Club contributes to its spectral activity. Originally established as a social club for the wealthy and influential residents of Virginia City, the building has seen its share of both opulent celebration and private scandal. From high-stakes poker games and theatrical performances to heated arguments and secret rendezvous, the building was a stage for intense human emotion. Many believe that the lingering spirits are tied to this energy, replaying moments of passion, anger, or sorrow long after their mortal lives ended. For visitors, the experience of the Washoe Club and Haunted Museum can be simultaneously thrilling and unnerving. Daytime tours offer a glimpse into the history of Virginia City, complete with well-preserved artifacts and guided storytelling. At night, however, the atmosphere shifts dramatically. The halls take on a shadowy presence, and even the faintest sounds, footsteps, whispers, or the rustle of fabric seem amplified. Many guests have recounted feeling the sensation of being watched while alone in certain rooms, or noticing cold drafts that seem to follow them from one space to another. Staff members, too, have shared accounts of paranormal encounters. Some have witnessed figures in historical attire moving through rooms, while others have experienced objects being displaced inexplicably. Security cameras have captured fleeting shadows and unexplained movements. Though the footage often defies logical explanation, even visitors who do not normally believe in the supernatural often leave with stories of unexplained sensations, flickering lights, or fleeting glimpses of figures from the past. In essence, the Washoe Club and Haunted Museum is more than a repository of artifacts. It is a place where the past refuses to remain silent. Its combination of rich history, preserved artifacts, and consistent reports of paranormal activity creates an immersive experience that blurs the line between the living and the dead. Whether it is the chill of unseen presences, the whisper of long-forgotten voices, or the fleeting sight of shadowy figures, the building holds a tangible reminder that history is never truly gone. Visitors leave with not only an understanding of Virginia City's past, but also an unforgettable sense that the spirits of the Washoe Club continue to watch, whisper, and move among the rooms, ensuring that their stories are never entirely forgotten. The Washoe Club and Haunted Museum stands as a testament to the enduring connection between history and the supernatural, offering a hauntingly vivid journey through a bygone era. For those who wander its halls, the echoes of the past are never far away, and the presence of those who once lived, laughed, and lingered in this historic space can still be felt, making every visit an encounter with the ghostly imprints of time itself. The El Rancho Hotel in Las Vegas stands as a relic of a bygone era, a time before the glitz and neon of the modern Strip transformed the city into a global entertainment hub. Constructed in the early 1940s, the hotel was once a glamorous retreat for movie stars, performers, and wealthy travelers. Its sprawling grounds, elegant architecture, and lively entertainment venues made it a centerpiece of Las Vegas nightlife. A place where music, laughter, and the clinking of glasses created an atmosphere of excitement and possibility. Yet beneath its once glittering surface, the El Rancho Hotel holds a darker, more mysterious presence, one that speaks to the lingering spirits of its storied past. Visitors and guests, over the years, have reported unexplained phenomena throughout the hotel, suggesting that the energy of past performers and patrons has never fully departed. Many recount hearing the faint strains of piano music echoing through empty halls late at night. The notes carry a haunting quality, delicate yet insistent, as though a ghostly musician is rehearsing for an audience that has long since vanished. Some say the music rises and falls with eerie precision, filling the deserted corridors with a melancholy that seems to resonate from the very walls. Those who hear it often feel a mix of awe and unease, as though the hotel itself is alive with memories of its golden age. The sound of footsteps is another frequent report. Guests have described hearing the soft tap of shoes on polished floors, moving rhythmically as if someone is pacing or performing an unseen routine. The footsteps often occur in areas that have long been vacated, or in hallways where no one else is present. Many have followed the sounds only to find empty spaces, with doors closed and no sign of anyone else. The disembodied steps, sometimes accompanied by the faint rustle of clothing or whispered murmurs, reinforce the sense that the hotel is haunted by the echoes of performers who once roamed its halls. Some visitors have also reported sightings of shadowy figures gliding through the corridors. These apparitions are often described as translucent or faintly illuminated, dressed in clothing reminiscent of the mid-20th century, the era when the hotel was at its height of glamour. Staff members occasionally claim to see performers in vintage attire moving across the lobby or along the upper balconies, vanishing suddenly when approached. These ghostly figures appear to be replaying moments from their past lives, wandering from room to room, practicing lines, or simply lingering in the spaces where they once entertained and delighted guests. The hotel's guest rooms, many of which remain largely unchanged, are also frequent sites of paranormal activity. Cold spots often appear inexplicably, even during warm summer nights. Some rooms have reported sudden drops in temperature, accompanied by the feeling of being watched. Visitors have experienced objects moving slightly, such as chairs tilting, doors creaking, or light fixtures flickering without any electrical cause. These occurrences, combined with the sounds and apparitions, create an atmosphere where the past feels vividly present, as if the hotel itself is holding on to the energy of bygone days. The history of the El Rancho Hotel contributes to its haunted reputation. During its heyday, it hosted legendary performers, from rising stars to seasoned entertainers who filled its stages with music, comedy, and theatrical performances. Behind the glamour, however, were tales of hardship, ambition, and sometimes tragedy. Performers who spent nights entertaining guests and traveling long distances might have met untimely ends, while guests and staff experienced the highs and lows of life in a bustling entertainment hub. Many believe that the spirits of these individuals linger, bound to the hotel by unresolved energy and the intensity of their experiences. Paranormal investigators and curious visitors alike have documented unusual phenomena at the El Rancho. Faint recordings capture the strains of piano music, echoing footsteps, and whispers that seem to drift through the air with no discernible source. Cameras sometimes capture shadows moving against the flow of light, and EMF detectors register unexplained fluctuations. While skeptics attribute these experiences to old building acoustics, imagination, or environmental factors, the sheer number and consistency of reports lend the site a chilling credibility. Despite, or perhaps because of its haunted reputation, the El Rancho Hotel remains a place of fascination. Visitors drawn by its history find themselves walking corridors that were once filled with life, listening for the echo of music and footsteps, and imagining the performances that played out decades ago. Night tours allow guests to explore the hotel after hours, offering the perfect conditions for those hoping to encounter the spectral echoes of entertainers past. Some report feeling the presence of performers standing behind them or brushing past their shoulders. Subtle reminders that the hotel is not empty, but filled with memories that refuse to fade. In essence, the El Rancho Hotel is more than a historical site. It is a stage for lingering spirits. Its grand architecture, storied past, and consistent reports of paranormal activity create an environment where history and the supernatural coexist. The faint piano music, the echoing footsteps, and the shadowy figures all serve as reminders that the energy of past performers has not vanished with time. Guests who enter its halls are not just observing history, they are participating in it, sharing space with echoes of a vibrant past that remains alive in ghostly form. For those who wander the El Rancho Hotel, the experience is unforgettable. Each creaking floorboard, each flicker of light, and every whisper of music carries the weight of decades of entertainment, ambition, and lingering spirits. The hotel stands as a haunting testament to the lives that once animated its halls, ensuring that the magic, the drama, and the presence of performers who never truly left continue to resonate in the shadows of Las Vegas history. The Huntridge Theater in Las Vegas stands as a relic of a bygone era, a grand venue that once pulsed with the energy of cinema-goers and music lovers alike. Opened in 1944, it was more than just a theater. It was a cultural hub where residents and travelers came to experience the latest films, live performances, and concert. The building's Art Deco facade, with its elegant curves and detailed ornamentation, reflected the optimism and glamour of mid-20th century Las Vegas. Inside, the theater's high ceilings, ornate balconies, and richly decorated auditorium created a space that felt both grand and intimate, drawing audiences into the world of entertainment with every show. Yet, despite the laughter and applause that once filled its halls, the Huntridge Theater today stands abandoned, and many who venture inside report that the echoes of its past refuse to remain silent. Visitors to the Huntridge often feel an immediate chill upon entering, a stark contrast to the vibrant energy that once defined the space. The air carries a weight, an almost tangible sense of history that feels alive and watchful. Cold spots are common throughout the theater, particularly near the stage and backstage areas. These pockets of icy air often appear without explanation, sometimes accompanied by a faint whispering or the distant sound of footsteps. Guests report feeling as though they are not alone, sensing an unseen presence moving quietly through the empty seats and hallways. Paranormal investigators have long been drawn to the Huntridge Theater, documenting a range of unusual phenomena. EVP's electronic voice phenomena have captured disembodied voices echoing through the theater, often speaking in indistinct phrases or murmurs. These recordings have left many convinced that the spirits of former performers, staff, or patrons continue to inhabit the building, unable or unwilling to leave the site that defines so much of their lives. Investigators also report sudden drops in temperature, unexplained lights flickering, and the faint rustle of fabric, as though ghostly figures move behind the stage curtains or along the aisles. Shadowy figures are another common occurrence within the theater. Witnesses have described fleeting glimpses of people in vintage attire, sometimes seen on stage or in the balconies, vanishing the moment they are observed directly. Some believe these apparitions are echoes of performers who once graced the stage, replaying routines or moments from decades past. The theater's acoustics often carry sounds in ways that amplify these experiences, allowing distant footsteps, whispered conversations, or the creak of the wooden stage to seem close enough to touch. The auditorium, once filled with rows of red velvet seats, now exudes an unsettling quiet. The silence is occasionally broken by sounds reminiscent of the theater's height, the soft clatter of feet, the shifting of chairs, or the faint rustle of clothing, as if a patron or performer has just passed. Visitors frequently report the sensation of being watched, especially while standing near the stage or at the top of the balcony. Some have even claimed that shadows move across the seats, as if the theater is momentarily filled with ghostly audiences. These experiences contribute to the enduring belief that the Huntridge's energy, shaped by decades of performances and spectatorship, remains trapped within its walls. Backstage areas, dressing rooms, and the stage itself are particularly active. Doors creak open without cause, lights flicker despite functioning circuits, and props occasionally appear to shift positions. Many paranormal enthusiasts suggest that these occurrences are linked to the intense emotions of performers who spent long hours preparing for shows, some of whom may have died or left unresolved lives tied to the theater. It is as though the building is a living record of all the moment's triumphs, failures, and mundane tasks alike that unfolded within its walls. The Hauntings Theater's history is as colorful as its haunting reputation. Over the years, it hosted film screenings, concerts, and community events, attracting both local talent and visiting stars. Behind the glamour were countless untold stories, performers grappling with anxiety and ambition, stagehands working late into the night, and patrons experiencing moments of joy or sorrow in the audience. Many believe that these layers of human experience have left an imprint on the building, a residue of energy that manifests as the paranormal activity observed today. Visitors exploring the theater often describe a surreal mix of awe and unease. Walking through the lobby, the auditorium, and the stage areas, one can sense the past and present colliding. The building holding on to memories of laughter, applause, and whispered secrets. It is not unusual for guests to feel sudden chills, hear faint voices, or see movement in their peripheral vision. Even those skeptical of the supernatural often leave with an impression that the theater is alive in some way, preserving the echoes of those who once brought it to life. In essence, the Hauntings Theater is more than an abandoned building. It is a living monument to performance, memory, and lingering spirits. The faint whispers, shadowy figures, and mysterious sounds are reminders that history is never truly gone, that the energy of a place can outlast its physical occupation. Visitors who step into the Hauntings are not merely exploring an empty theater. They are entering a space where the past is palpable, where the performers, staff, and patrons of yesteryear continue to inhabit the shadows, their presence a haunting testament to the vibrant life that once filled every corner of this iconic Las Vegas venue. The Hauntings Theater remains a compelling destination for those fascinated by history, performance, and the paranormal. With its combination of architectural beauty, storied past, and consistent reports of unexplained activity, it offers an unforgettable glimpse into a world where the line between the living and the spectral is remarkably thin. Guests leave not only with memories of the building itself, but with the lingering sense that even in its abandonment, the Hauntings continues to host audiences of a very different kind, silent, shadowy, and eternal. The Las Vegas Academy of the Arts, a prestigious institution known for nurturing young talent in music, theater, and the visual arts, has a reputation that extends beyond its academic accomplishments. While students and faculty admire the school for its rigorous programs and inspiring performances, the Academy is also known for a more mysterious and unsettling presence. Many who spend time in its halls have reported experiences that suggest the spirit of creativity itself lingers here, manifesting in ways that are both eerie and fascinating. It is a place where the echoes of artistic passion refuse to fade, and some claim that former students have never truly left, continuing their performances in the afterlife. Visitors and current students alike speak of hearing piano keys playing in empty practice rooms. The notes are often precise and deliberate, as though someone is carefully rehearsing a piece, yet, when the room is checked, no one is there. The sound is sometimes accompanied by the faint smell of polished wood and old sheet music, further intensifying the feeling that a presence occupies the room. Those who have witnessed this phenomenon often describe a mixture of awe and unease, feeling as if they are intruding on a private rehearsal from beyond the grave. The music is sometimes soft and melancholic, at other times lively and energetic, reflecting the wide range of emotions the artists once poured into their craft. Classrooms, particularly those dedicated to drama, are frequent sites of reported activity. Teachers and students have heard soft murmurs and whispered conversations when the rooms are otherwise empty. These voices do not carry the weight of fear, but rather seem playful, instructional, or simply conversational, as if former students continue to practice lines, critique performances, or rehearse unseen dramas. Some have even reported seeing fleeting shadows crossing the walls or glimpses of figures moving just beyond their peripheral vision. These apparitions often appear to mimic the behavior of students in rehearsal, performing exercises or dramatic gestures that vanish when observed directly. The school's auditorium, where countless performances have been staged over decades, is another area of unusual activity. Empty seats occasionally creak as if someone has just settled into them, and stage lights sometimes flicker or dim without any electrical explanation. The sound of applause, faint but distinct, has been reported after practice sessions, as though a spectral audience is responding to performances long past. Some students and staff claim that ghostly figures can be seen lingering near the edges of the stage, moving as if to adjust props or rehearse lines. The presence of these spirits, combined with the echoes of past performances, gives the auditorium a haunting yet oddly inspiring atmosphere. Even hallways and staircases have their share of unexplained phenomena. Footsteps echo along the polished floors when the corridors are empty, sometimes accompanied by the faint scent of perfume or cologne from bygone eras. Doors to classrooms or rehearsal spaces may open and close without warning, and lights sometimes flicker as shadows pass across them. Many attribute these occurrences to the lingering energy of former students who spent countless hours honing their craft within these walls, bound to the academy by the intensity of their passion and ambition. The history of the Las Vegas Academy of the Arts adds depth to its paranormal reputation. Established decades ago as a center for artistic excellence, the school has seen generations of students grow into professional performers, musicians, and artists. Behind the success and accolades are countless stories of late-night rehearsals, long hours spent perfecting technique, and the personal triumphs and setbacks of young artists learning to navigate the demands of their craft. Some of those who left the world too soon may have found their spirits lingering in the spaces where they gave their all, unwilling to abandon the very place that shaped their dreams. Paranormal investigators and enthusiasts have documented some of the Academy's more unusual occurrences. Recordings capture faint piano notes, whispers, and even the occasional laugh drifting through empty rooms. Cameras sometimes detect subtle movements in areas with no one present, and electromagnetic sensors pick up unexplained fluctuations, particularly near rehearsal spaces and the auditorium. While skeptics attribute some experiences to imagination or the natural acoustics of an active school, the consistency and specificity of reports over time have made the Las Vegas Academy of the Arts a site of fascination for both believers and curious visitors. Many who have experienced the phenomena describe a unique mix of fear and inspiration. The presence of these spirits is not typically malevolent. Rather, it carries the weight of dedication, passion, and unfulfilled dreams. Students who witness these events often report feeling a heightened connection to the school's artistic legacy, as if the past performers are silently encouraging them, guiding their hands at the piano or influencing the movements on stage. For some, the experience is haunting. For others, it is motivational, a reminder that the spirit of artistry can transcend time and even death. In essence, the Las Vegas Academy of the Arts is a space where the line between the living and the spectral is blurred by creativity. Piano notes echo, whispers linger, shadows move across rehearsal rooms, and the auditorium hums with the memory of performances past. Visitors and students become part of this continuum, stepping into a place where artistic energy is preserved and shared by those who came before. It is not merely a school, it is a living, breathing repository of talent, ambition, and the enduring presence of those who loved their craft too much to ever truly leave. The Academy remains a compelling destination for anyone fascinated by the intersection of art and the supernatural. Each creaking floorboard, each flicker of light, each faint musical note carries with it the weight of decades of creativity. The Las Vegas Academy of the Arts is more than an institution. It is a haunting tribute to the enduring spirit of artists, a place where the passion for performance continues long after the curtain has fallen, and where the students of the past remain forever present, guiding, performing, and inspiring in the silent hours of the night. The Golden Nugget Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas is renowned for its glittering lights, luxurious accommodations, and bustling gaming floors. It has long been a destination for tourists seeking entertainment and fortune. Yet beyond the glamour and the bright neon signage, the hotel harbors a darker, more mysterious presence. For decades, staff and guests have reported inexplicable occurrences, strange sounds, fleeting shadows, and an enduring tale of a spectral woman whose story refuses to fade. According to legend, she was once a performer, a talented entertainer whose life ended tragically within the walls of the Golden Nugget. Now, her spirit is said to wander the hotel and casino, forever searching for the stage that defined her life. The first reports of the woman in red date back many years, long before the casino became the iconic establishment it is today. Employees working late nights in the hallways recall seeing a figure in a flowing red dress gliding silently past them, sometimes pausing as if listening to something only she could hear. Guests in the hotel's upper floors have occasionally spotted her reflection in mirrors or windows, only to find no one there. Upon looking directly, the figure is described consistently as elegant, sorrowful, and ethereal, with an aura that evokes both awe and unease. Many who have witnessed her presence claim a sudden chill accompanies the apparition, a coldness that seems to seep through the walls and linger in the air. The casino floor, usually filled with the sounds of slot machines and laughter, is not exempt from the reports of paranormal activity. Dealers and attendants have heard the faint strains of music drifting across empty corridors and service areas. Some describe hearing soft, haunting melodies, reminiscent of old cabaret performances, while others claim to have heard the faint applause of an audience that is not there. It is as though the woman in red is replaying her performances for an audience that exists only in the echoes of the past. The melodies often appear at random times, sometimes during the early morning hours when the casino is quiet, amplifying the sensation of encountering a presence from another era. Guest rooms, particularly those near the hotel's original performance areas, have also been sites of strange experiences. Occupants have reported seeing the shadow of a woman moving gracefully through the room or catching glimpses of her reflection in mirrors. Personal belongings are sometimes found in unexpected places, as though the spirit is reenacting gestures from her life. Some visitors speak of an overwhelming feeling of longing or sadness, emotions that seem to emanate from the apparition itself, leaving a lingering impression long after they have left the room. Stairs, hallways, and service corridors also carry their own share of mysteries. Staff working late shifts often feel an unseen presence following them, sensing that someone is moving just behind or beside them. Doors open and close seemingly on their own, and lights flicker without explanation. These events are most commonly reported near areas once used for performances, suggesting that the energy of past shows, combined with the tragic fate of the performer, has left an indelible mark on the building. Paranormal investigators who have visited the Golden Nugget have captured electronic voice phenomena, sudden temperature drops. The story of the woman in red is woven into the history of the hotel itself. Once, in the early years of the Golden Nugget's prominence, she was known for her captivating performances and elegant presence on stage. Her popularity made her a local celebrity, and she brought life and vibrancy to the hotel's entertainment venues. Tragically, her life was cut short under circumstances that remain unclear, though rumors of accident or foul play persist in local lore. Since that time, reports of her apparition have never ceased, as if she remains bound to the hotel by unfinished business, her desire to perform unfulfilled in the afterlife. Many who encounter the spirit describe mixed emotions. The figure inspires both fear and fascination, her elegance and sadness, making her simultaneously alluring and unsettling. Staff report a heightened awareness when she is near, often feeling as though they are being silently observed. Guests speak of a strange pull toward the areas where she is most often seen, drawn by an invisible energy that seems tied to her presence. The story suggests that her attachment to the hotel is not malicious, but driven by longing, a desire to continue the life she loved and to be seen, even by those who cannot fully understand her plight. The Golden Nugget's haunted reputation is bolstered by these consistent accounts, making it a focal point for paranormal enthusiasts and curious visitors alike. Reports of flickering lights, ghostly music, cold spots, and shadowy figures have persisted over the decades, creating an aura of mystery that adds to the hotel's allure. Investigators have noted that the occurrences are particularly strong near the original entertainment areas, including the stage, hallways, and adjacent guest rooms. Here, the echoes of applause, laughter, and performance energy seem to linger, amplified by the presence of the tragic performer. In essence, the Golden Nugget Hotel and Casino is a place where the past and present coexist, where the glamour of Las Vegas nightlife is intertwined with the lingering presence of a spirit unable to leave. The woman in red is more than a ghostly figure. She represents the passion, dedication, and unfulfilled dreams of a life devoted to performance. Her presence transforms the hotel from a simple venue of entertainment into a space where history, emotion, and the supernatural intersect. Visitors who step into the Golden Nugget may never encounter her directly, but for those who do, the experience is unforgettable. The faint strains of music, the shadow in the hallway, and the sudden chill in the air are reminders that the hotel's story extends beyond the living into the realm of memory and spirit. The woman in red continues her nightly search for the stage, a haunting yet elegant figure forever entwined with the legacy of the Golden Nugget, a reminder that in Las Vegas, the show may never truly end. The Moulin Rouge Hotel in Las Vegas holds a unique place in both history and legend. Established in 1955, it was the first racially integrated casino in the city, a groundbreaking step in a time of deep segregation. The hotel quickly became a hub for top entertainers of the 1950s, attracting performers and patrons alike who reveled in its glamour, music, and vibrant nightlife. However, despite its historical significance and initial popularity, the Moulin Rouge closed its doors permanently after a series of financial difficulties and unfortunate incidents. Today, the once glittering landmark stands in ruins, its crumbling walls a shadow of the golden age it once represented. Yet, for those who visit or explore the property, there is a persistent sense that the spirits of its glamorous past have never truly left. Visitors and paranormal enthusiasts often report hearing the faint strains of jazz music drifting through the air. Even when no instruments or speakers are present, the music, reminiscent of live performances from the 1950s, seems to echo from the floors above or behind boarded-up walls. Some say they can hear the rhythmic swing of a band playing in perfect harmony, the sound of a saxophone weaving through the melodic notes of a piano, creating an atmosphere of nostalgia mixed with an unsettling otherworldliness. These musical echoes seem to replay the memories of countless nights filled with dancing, laughter, and excitement, leaving visitors with the impression that the Moulin Rouge is still alive in spirit, if not in reality. Laughter is another recurring phenomenon reported by those exploring the abandoned hotel. Guests and urban explorers often hear the faint giggles or bursts of cheerful conversation drifting through empty halls. At times, the laughter is light and joyous, as if echoing from a ballroom filled with elegantly dressed patrons enjoying an evening of entertainment. At other moments, it carries a more distant, melancholic tone, as though the past revelers are trapped in a loop, replaying moments of joy from a bygone era. The laughter, combined with the jazz music, creates a surreal experience, making visitors feel as though they have stepped through a doorway into a different time. Shadows and fleeting figures are also commonly reported within the ruins of the Moulin Rouge. Witnesses describe glimpsing elegant figures moving gracefully across the floors, dressed in formal attire consistent with the 1950s. Some claim to see women in flowing gowns and men in sharp suits, walking through the hallways or standing at the edges of the ballroom, only to vanish when approached directly. These apparitions seem to mimic the behavior of patrons during the hotel's heyday, adding to the sense that the spirits are not merely haunting the space, but reliving moments from their past lives. Even in the crumbling remains of the casino floor, visitors report seeing shadowy figures near where the gaming tables once stood, as if the energy of the lively crowds has left a permanent imprint. Cold spots and sudden changes in temperature are frequently noted throughout the property. These inexplicable drops in temperature are often reported in areas where the most activity occurs, such as the remains of the ballroom, the former casino floor, and along the hallways that led to hotel rooms. The cold spots are sometimes accompanied by a tingling sensation, as if an invisible presence is brushing past. Many who have experienced these phenomena describe a mixture of excitement and apprehension, a tangible reminder that the Moulin Rouge's past still lingers in the form of unseen residents. The history of the Moulin Rouge contributes to its haunted reputation. During its years of operation, the hotel was a place of breaking boundaries, social change, and vibrant entertainment. Top performers of the era graced its stages, leaving behind energy and memories that seemed to have become part of the building itself. After its closure, the casino fell into disrepair, but the tales of its glory days persisted, and with them, stories of lingering spirits. It is believed by some that the unresolved energy of both the performers and patrons, individuals whose lives were intertwined with the Moulin Rouges, bound them to the property, creating a haunted echo of the past. Paranormal investigators have documented some of the unusual occurrences at the Moulin Rouge. Recordings capture faint music, voices, and footsteps when no one is present. Cameras have picked up fleeting shadows or orbs of light moving across rooms and hallways. Witnesses often describe an uncanny feeling of being observed, a sensation that is difficult to ignore in the still, decaying space. While skeptics attribute some experiences to imagination or natural acoustics, the consistency and specificity of reports over decades suggest that something more may be at play. Many who explore the Moulin Rouge are struck by the juxtaposition of history and hauntings. The site is both tragic and beautiful, a reminder of a pivotal moment in Las Vegas history, while also serving as a stage for inexplicable phenomena. The spirits of the past performers, patrons, and staff seem to linger in a liminal space, carrying on the joy, creativity, and excitement that once filled the hotel. For some, these hauntings are unsettling. For others, they are mesmerizing, a glimpse into a time when the Moulin Rouge was at the center of entertainment, culture, and social change. The Moulin Rouge Hotel stands as a testament to Las Vegas' past, its crumbling walls echoing with the voices and music of decades gone by. Jazz melodies drift through empty halls, laughter reverberates through abandoned rooms, and shadowy figures continue to dance and perform as if the golden age never ended. For visitors who dare to step into its haunted ruins, the Moulin Rouge offers a hauntingly beautiful experience, a place where history and spirit intermingle and where the echoes of a remarkable past can still be felt long after the neon lights have faded. The Fremont Street Experience in Las Vegas is one of the city's most iconic destinations, famous for its dazzling lights, live entertainment, and the constant hum of activity. Tourists from around the world flock to its pedestrian mall to witness the overhead light shows, street performances, and the vibrant atmosphere that has defined the area for decades. Yet beneath the glittering neon and the lively crowds, there lies a history that is far less visible but equally compelling, a history of performers and entertainers whose spirits are said to linger, continuing to entertain long after their lives ended. The origins of Fremont Street's haunted reputation trace back to its early days, when it was a hotspot for musicians, magicians, and entertainers performing in casinos, theaters, and small clubs lining the thoroughfare. These performers brought excitement and glamour to Las Vegas, often working long hours under the bright lights and living for the applause of adoring crowds. According to local legend, some of these individuals became so deeply attached to their craft and the city itself that their spirits never left. Visitors today often report hearing sounds that evoke the energy of those bygone performances, even in areas now devoid of life. One of the most common experiences reported by visitors is the sound of live music echoing through empty streets. People have described hearing the faint strains of jazz, swing, and big band tunes drifting from the buildings around Fremont Street. Sometimes, the music is upbeat, as if a street band is performing for a crowd that has vanished. while other times it carries a melancholic tone, reminiscent of a singer performing a heartfelt ballad alone in a dimly lit club. Witnesses often describe the sound as distinct and unambiguous, not merely echoes of modern traffic or construction noise, giving the impression that the performers themselves are still present, unseen but very much alive in spirit. Applause and audience reactions are another frequently reported phenomenon. Many who walk the Fremont Street experience late at night have claimed to hear clapping and cheering emanating from closed venues or empty performance spaces. Some describe it as synchronized applause, perfectly timed as if following the climax of a song or act, while others report the sound of laughter and excited chatter that seems to move from building to building. These auditory experiences often appear in the moments when the street is at its quietest, amplifying the sense that something beyond the ordinary is occurring. Ghostly apparitions have also been observed along Fremont Street, usually by those who explore the area during off hours. Witnesses report fleeting figures in period attire, men in tuxedos or performers' costumes, and women in elegant dresses from the 1940s and 1950s, gliding across the street or appearing at the edges of their vision. Many claim these figures seem to be performing, gesturing as if to an audience, or interacting with invisible props. Others describe shadowy silhouettes darting across the walls and doorways of long-closed theaters and casinos, giving the impression that the performers are continuing their acts in a world invisible to most. Temperature anomalies are also frequently noted. Cold spots and sudden drops in temperature often accompany the most intense encounters. Tourists and employees alike report feeling sudden chills, as if someone or something is brushing past them. Some have described an overwhelming sensation of being watched or guided along certain parts of the street, particularly near the old theater buildings and historic casino sites. Paranormal investigators have documented these occurrences, capturing electronic voice phenomena, unusual audio recordings, and even unexplained visual anomalies that align with witness accounts. Fremont Street's history contributes significantly to its haunted reputation. In its heyday, it was a center of entertainment, cultural shifts, and nightlife innovation in Las Vegas. Performers who worked long hours under demanding conditions often became intimately connected with the venues and the street itself. After many of the buildings closed or were remodeled, and after entertainers passed away, locals began to report strange experiences, sounds, figures, and sensations that seemed tied to the ghosts of the street's golden era. Many believe that the energy of live performances, the passion of artists, and the excitement of audiences has left a lasting imprint, allowing spirits to replay fragments of their former lives. Visitors also report objects moving inexplicably. Occasionally, street signs, posters, or small props in abandoned performance areas seem to shift positions or fall without cause. These minor movements often occur near the same areas where musical and auditory phenomena are reported, suggesting a connection between the lingering spirits and the physical environment. Some believe the performers are interacting with the modern world, subtly reminding visitors that the stage, once their home, is never truly empty, despite or perhaps because of its haunted reputation. Fremont Street continues to draw curious visitors and paranormal enthusiasts. The street's energy is undeniable, a blend of history, spectacle, and the unseen. Those who encounter the spirits describe a sense of awe and fascination rather than pure fear, as if they are witnessing echoes of a bygone era that shaped Las Vegas' identity. The city's past entertainers, bound by their love of performance, seem to continue their acts in invisible theaters, sharing music, laughter, and spectacle with anyone willing to notice. In essence, the Fremont Street experience is more than a pedestrian mall or tourist attraction. It is a living memory of Las Vegas, entertainment history, infused with the lingering presence of those who gave it life. Jazz melodies drift through empty spaces, applause resonates in deserted halls, and ghostly figures glide along the street, eternally performing. For those who walk its length after dark, the experience is unforgettable. A haunting, mesmerizing reminder that on Fremont Street, the show never truly ends, and the performers, in spirit, have never left. The Nevada Theater, nestled in the historic heart of Nevada City, California, is more than just a venue for performances. It is a living monument to the rich history of American theater. Established in 1865, it holds the distinction of being the oldest continuously operating theater in California. Its ornate architecture, vintage wooden floors, and classic stage design transport visitors to a bygone era when theater was the primary form of entertainment. Yet beneath its historic charm lies a layer of mystery, a haunting presence that has intrigued performers, staff, and visitors for generations. Many claim that the Nevada Theater is more than a relic of the past. It is a place where the spirits of those who once graced its stage still linger, unwilling to leave the theater that was once their world. Performers at the Nevada Theater have long reported experiencing unexplained phenomena. Many speak of sudden cold spots that appear backstage, chilling them despite the warmth of the theater. These temperature anomalies are often localized, striking in areas where rehearsals or performances are underway, as if the past performers are imprinting their presence onto the modern-day environment. Actors preparing for a show have described the unsettling feeling of being watched, with eyes that seem to follow their movements even when no one else is present. This invisible audience adds an extra layer of tension to performances. Yet many claim it is not malevolent, is simply the lingering essence of those who loved the theater in life. Footsteps echoing across the backstage area are another common occurrence. Crew members and actors alike have reported hearing the sound of shoes tapping against the wooden floors, pacing back and forth, despite the wings being empty. Sometimes the footsteps are hurried, as if someone is rehearsing a particularly energetic scene, while other times they are slow and deliberate, reminiscent of an actor awaiting their cue. Many performers have admitted to pausing mid-rehearsal, unsure if they should continue, as the sounds of the unseen footsteps create a palpable tension. These auditory experiences are often accompanied by other subtle phenomena, such as the rustle of costume fabric or the faint creaking of stage rigging, reinforcing the idea that the theater itself retains memories of performances past. Shadowy figures have also been observed by both performers and visitors. Some have glimpsed a silhouette in period attire, moving along the wings or peering from behind the curtains. These figures are typically described as indistinct, more impression than concrete form, yet their presence is unmistakable. Many performers insist that these apparitions mirror the actions of actors from the theater's history, as if the spirits are rehearsing or performing lines that were left unfinished in life. Witnesses often report that these shadowy figures appear to interact with the physical environment in subtle ways, adjusting props, moving along the stage, or glancing toward performers before vanishing when approached directly. The auditory experiences in the Nevada Theater are particularly striking. Beyond footsteps, performers have reported hearing whispers in the wings, the soft murmur of lines being rehearsed, or even laughter echoing from empty rooms. Some have heard distinct phrases or cues being called out as though a performance is about to begin, only to find no one present. These sounds are not random, but appear to follow the rhythm of theatrical timing, suggesting that the spirits of the past continue to engage in the craft they loved so dearly. Musicians accompanying productions have occasionally reported hearing faint piano notes or strings plucked in harmony, adding an eerie soundtrack to the otherwise quiet backstage environment. The theater's haunted reputation extends beyond performers to the audience areas as well. Visitors to the auditorium have reported sudden chills, a sense of being observed, or catching glimpses of movement in the corner of their eyes. Some patrons have felt the sensation of a presence brushing past their seats, while others have claimed to hear applause or murmurs during moments when the theater is completely silent. The combination of history, architecture, and lingering spirits creates an immersive experience that blends excitement with an underlying sense of mystery. The Nevada Theater's storied past provides context for its hauntings, having hosted countless performances, including plays, operas, and musical recitals. It has been a central part of Nevada City's cultural life for more than a century. Generations of performers have dedicated themselves to the theater, and many devoted so deeply to their craft that their spirits are believed to have remained behind. Accidents, unfulfilled performances, and the sheer intensity of life spent on stage are thought to have left a lasting imprint, binding these unseen presences to the very boards and beams of the theater. Paranormal investigators have documented various unexplained occurrences at the Nevada Theater. Recordings have captured faint voices and the sound of footsteps in empty wings. Cameras have occasionally caught fleeting shadows or distortions that defy logical explanation. These investigations lend credibility to the consistent reports from performers and staff, suggesting that the theater's haunting is not merely legend but a tangible, ongoing phenomenon. For those who enter the Nevada Theater, the experience is both eerie and enchanting. There is a palpable energy in the air, a sense that history and the supernatural intermingle. The walls echo with performances from long ago. The wings hold the restless presence of actors who never truly left, and the stage itself seems to hum with residual passion and creativity. Visitors often leave with a heightened appreciation for the theater's history, a deeper respect for its past performers, and a lingering sense that the Nevada Theater is a place where the magic of performance transcends even death. In conclusion, the Nevada Theater stands as a testament to the enduring spirit of artistic dedication. From the cold spots backstage to the shadowy figures rehearsing unseen lines, the theater is alive with the echoes of its past. The sounds of footsteps, whispers, and faint applause remind everyone who enters that this is a place where the energy of performance never truly dies. For performers, staff, and visitors alike, the Nevada Theater is more than a building. It is a living, breathing relic of theatrical history, haunted by the spirits of those who loved it most and continue their art long after life has ended. The Carson City Opera House, a striking emblem of Nevada's cultural history, has stood proudly in the state capitol since the 1870s. Its brick facade, an elegant interior recall a bygone era, where the thrill of live performance captured the hearts of the local community. The Opera House has hosted countless plays, musical recitals, and public events over the decades, becoming a centerpiece for entertainment in Carson City. Yet behind the grandeur of its high ceilings, ornate balconies, and polished wooden floors, lies a history whispered about in hushed tones. The presence of lingering spirits, performers who never truly left the stage, visitors and staff alike have long reported strange occurrences that hint at the Opera House's haunted past. Audience members have described glimpsing figures dressed in period attire sitting in the balcony, often watching performances with an intensity that is almost tangible. Some witnesses report that these spectral attendees appeared during particularly dramatic or emotional scenes, as if drawn to the energy of the performance itself. The figures are rarely fully visible. Instead, they manifest as fleeting shadows or outlines, their presence felt rather than seen in complete detail. The auditory phenomena in the Carson City Opera House are perhaps the most compelling evidence of its haunted reputation. Patrons often mention hearing applause that erupts mysteriously after a performance has ended, long after the audience has left. Some performers have recounted the eerie experience of hearing faint murmurs, whispers of lines being rehearsed, or even the strains of a piano playing softly in empty dressing rooms. These sounds are often subtle at first, barely noticeable over the natural ambient noise of the theater, but they grow more distinct as the night deepens and the house empties. Backstage is often the center of unexplained activity. Crew members and actors have described sudden drops in temperature, cold spots that chill them to the bone, even in warm weather. Some have seen props move slightly out of place, as though adjusted by unseen hands, and costumes occasionally sway as if worn by invisible performers preparing for a show. These subtle manipulations suggest a residual energy, a lingering attachment of spirits to the tools and environment that were once central to their craft. Many actors have learned to work around these disturbances, treating them as a curious companion rather than a source of fear. Footsteps are another common occurrence. Staff often report hearing the soft tap of shoes on the wooden stage or the creak of floorboards in hallways long after the opera house has closed for the night. The rhythm of these footsteps can vary, sometimes brisk, echoing like a hurried performer, other times deliberate and slow, reminiscent of someone waiting for their cue. Those who have experienced this phenomenon describe it as hauntingly real, an invisible presence moving through the theater, silently observing the living while lingering in their familiar territory. Visitors seated in the balconies have reported glimpses of figures dressed in formal 19th century attire, moving gracefully in the shadows, occasionally bowing or tipping a hat as if acknowledging a performance. These apparitions are often described as serene rather than threatening, suggesting that the spirits are not there to harm but to participate in the ongoing narrative of the opera house. Their actions seem to mirror what might have taken place during the theater's heyday, audience members applauding, actors taking bows, or staff preparing the stage for the next scene. The theater's history adds weight to these experiences. The Carson City Opera House was built at a time when live performances were a central form of entertainment in Nevada, and countless performers dedicated their lives to the stage. Some of these individuals passed away before they could fully retire from their craft, leaving their attachment to the theater unresolved. Over the decades, performers have come and gone, yet the energy of the past seems to linger, echoing through the halls, balconies, and wings, a testament to their love for performance and their deep connection to the opera house. Paranormal investigators have documented various phenomena at the opera house. Recordings have captured unexplained voices, footsteps, and the faint sounds of applause in empty rooms. Cameras occasionally pick up fleeting shadows or movements in areas where no one is present, lending credibility to the experiences reported by performers and staff. While skeptics might attribute these occurrences to imagination or the building's age, the consistency and frequency of reports suggest a presence that defies easy explanation. Many who enter the Carson City Opera House describe a sense of being watched, an almost tangible energy that heightens the atmosphere of each performance. Some actors have come to embrace these unseen companions, feeling that the spirits enhance the artistic experience rather than detract from it. Visitors often leave with a mixture of awe and unease, realizing that they have witnessed a space where history, performance, and the supernatural converge. In conclusion, the Carson City Opera House is more than just a historic building. It is a living repository of memories and energy from generations of performers. From shadowy figures in the balcony to the sounds of unseen applause, cold spots, and moving props, the Opera House continues to be haunted by those who devoted their lives to its stages. The theater embodies a unique blend of history, art, and lingering spirits, making each visit an encounter with the past that is both captivating and chilling. For performers, staff, and visitors alike, the Opera House is a place where the echoes of live performances resonate beyond life, a testament to the enduring power of theater and the spirits that continue to grace its halls. The Churchill County Museum in Fallon, Nevada, is a repository of the region's rich history, preserving artifacts, photographs, and stories that span generations. While the museum serves as a window into the past, many visitors have discovered that its halls hold more than just relics of bygone days. The theater inside the museum, a small yet ornate space dedicated to showcasing local history, has become the center of numerous reports of paranormal activity. Visitors frequently report hearing the sound of an old film projector starting up, even when the theater is locked and empty. The mechanical whirring of reels turning, the faint click of the projector advancing, and the distant hiss of the film as it moves through the machinery are described in vivid detail by those who have experienced it. For some, the sound is faint and fleeting, almost like a memory trying to resurface. For others, it is insistent and persistent, as if the stories of the past refuse to remain dormant. The projector seems to play unseen films, projecting tales of the town's history in a realm accessible only to the spirits who linger. Accompanying the sounds of the projector are occasional rustles and movements from the old film reels. Witnesses describe hearing the soft shuffle of celluloid, as though someone unseen is carefully handling the reels, rewinding and threading them, preparing them for a show that will never truly begin. Some have attempted to check the equipment, only to find it untouched, the reels stationary in their holders. Yet the sounds persist, echoing through the theater in a way that seems impossible to explain by ordinary means. The sensation of presence is also reported by museum staff and visitors alike. Many have described a sudden feeling of being watched while in the theater, as if invisible eyes track their movements from the shadows. The air itself seems to shift, growing inexplicably colder in certain spots, especially near the projection booth or along the rows of theater seats. These cold spots are often accompanied by a sense of anticipation or tension, a subtle reminder that the past is very much alive in this space. Some of the most compelling reports involve auditory phenomena beyond the sounds of projectors and reels. Visitors have reported whispers echoing through the theater, voices that seem to be telling stories, commenting on what is happening in the empty room, or even repeating lines from old performances. The whispers are rarely coherent to the listener at first, more like fragmented phrases or snippets of conversation. But attentive visitors sometimes catch specific words that hint at the theater's former occupants, as if the spirits themselves are narrating the history preserved within the museum. Footsteps are another common occurrence in the Churchill County Museum's theater. These are described as light and deliberate, echoing off the wooden floors and walls in patterns that suggest someone moving through the space purposefully. Occasionally, the footsteps approach a particular seat or area, pause for a few moments, and then retreat, leaving the visitor with the unmistakable impression of an invisible presence observing or interacting with them. It is as though the spirits of past patrons, museum staff, or even performers continue to frequent the theater, performing roles they have long since left behind in the living world. Even the lighting within the theater has been known to behave unusually. Flickering lights, sudden dimming, and unexplained shadows moving across the seats and stage have been reported by multiple visitors. Some claim to have seen shadowy figures glide across the floor, vanishing when approached, leaving behind only the cold chill and the faint scent of dust and old wood. These experiences combine to create an atmosphere of heightened awareness, where the boundary between the past and present feels thin and permeable. The theater's location within the museum amplifies its haunted reputation. Being surrounded by artifacts and exhibits, the space seems to carry the memories of those who lived, worked, and passed through the town over decades. The energy of these memories, coupled with the intrinsic history of the theater itself, appears to create a focal point where the spirits remain attached, replaying fragments of their lives and the town's story for anyone willing to witness them. For many visitors, these encounters are not simply frightening but profoundly moving. They speak of a connection to the past that transcends the ordinary experience of history. The sounds of the projector, the rustling of reels, the whispers, and the cold spots all serve as reminders that the Churchill County Museum is more than a collection of artifacts. It is a living testament to the stories and spirits that shaped Fallon. Patrons often leave with a sense of having witnessed a small piece of history that exists outside of time, a world where the echoes of the past are never truly silenced. In conclusion, the Churchill County Museum in Fallon, particularly its theater, stands as a place where history and the paranormal intersect. From the mechanical sounds of an unseen projector to the whispers of unseen voices, the rustling of film reels, and the shadowy figures that move across the theater, the space is alive with the echoes of its past. The theater continues to draw visitors who are intrigued by its haunted reputation, offering a unique experience where the stories of Fallon are not just displayed, but felt, heard, and witnessed, as if the past refuses to remain in the shadows. The museum's theater reminds us that some histories are too vivid, too emotionally charged, to fade quietly into memory, and that sometimes the spirits of the past are simply continuing the performances they began long ago. The Fallon Theater, a charming relic from the 1940s, sits quietly in the heart of Fallon, Nevada. Its facade, weathered, but still retaining the character of an era long past. In its heyday, the theater was a beacon for evening entertainment, drawing local couples for movie nights, live performances, and special events. The laughter, whispers, and tender glances of patrons filled the air nightly, and the theater became a central part of the community's social life. Today, the Fallon Theater functions as a community theater, hosting plays, musicals, and local performances. Yet beneath its contemporary use lies a deeper, more spectral history that continues to captivate those who enter. Visitors to the Fallon Theater have reported a variety of paranormal occurrences, most of which revolve around the echoes of romance and companionship from decades ago. One of the most frequently reported phenomena involves sightings of ghostly couples. Witnesses describe seeing figures in period clothing, often seated in the balcony, holding hands or leaning close together, as if immersed in the same tender moments that first brought them to the theater. These apparitions are typically observed during evening hours, when the theater is dimly lit and the world outside has quieted to a hush. On multiple occasions, observers have noted that these spectral couples vanish suddenly, leaving empty seats and an eerie sense of longing behind. The phenomenon is not limited to visual sightings. Many have reported hearing faint whispers of conversation or laughter, sounds that cannot be traced to any living source. The voices are subtle, sometimes overlapping with the sounds of the present performance, and often appear to be discussing the events of long-ago dates, sharing secrets, or murmuring endearments. These auditory experiences create the impression that the spirits of the past remain intimately tied to the theater, replaying their moments of affection as if trapped in an endless loop. Cold spots are another common feature reported by visitors. These inexplicable drops in temperature occur in various areas of the theater, particularly near the balcony and along the aisles where couples were known to sit. Witnesses describe a sudden chill, often accompanied by the sensation of being watched or followed, as though the lingering emotions of those long-departed patrons still permeate the space. Some performers and staff have noted that these cold spots seem to intensify when the theater is empty, as if the spirits are drawn to the absence of living presence, eager to reoccupy their once frequented seats. In addition to these personal experiences, the Fallon Theater has a number of small, unexplained occurrences that add to its haunted reputation. Doors and curtains have been observed moving slightly without a discernible cause. Faint footsteps echo in empty hallways, and stage props occasionally shift in position overnight. While these incidents could be explained by drafts, settling structures, or ordinary maintenance errors, many who frequent the theater are convinced that they are the work of unseen patrons, still actively engaging with the environment they once adored. Some of the most compelling accounts involve interactions between living visitors and the spirits. Audience members have reported feeling a gentle hand brush against their own, sensing a presence beside them, or catching the fleeting impression of a face in the balcony that disappears when looked at directly. Staff members recount times when the theater feels unusually crowded, despite there being no one present, and performers often remark on a sudden, inexplicable, nervous energy in the audience, as if unseen observers are watching every movement and reacting emotionally. The layout and history of the theater seem to contribute to the intensity of these experiences. The balcony, with its elevated view of the stage, is often cited as the hotspot for paranormal activity, likely due to the fact that it was the favored seating area for couples and socialites in the theater's early years. The combination of historical romance, the intimate size of the venue, and the lingering echoes of countless performances creates an environment where the past is almost tangible. Visitors frequently describe the sensation of walking through a time-worn portal, where the love stories, laughter, and excitement of decades ago continue to resonate. For many who encounter these phenomena, the experiences are less frightening than they are poignant. Witnesses often speak of a sense of nostalgia and bittersweet emotion, as though the theater itself preserves the memory of the community's shared history. The ghostly couples, with their whispered words and tender gestures, serve as reminders of the connections forged in this small-town theater, and of the enduring nature of human attachment. The Fallon Theater thus becomes more than just a place to watch plays. It is a living monument to the love, joy, and community spirit that defined it for generations. In conclusion, the Fallon Theater in Fallon, Nevada, is a site where history and the supernatural intersect. The ghostly sightings of couples holding hands in the balcony, the whispers of conversation and laughter, the cold spots, and the unexplained movements all contribute to the theater's reputation as a haunted yet emotionally rich location. Patrons and performers alike leave with the feeling that they have glimpsed something timeless. A reminder that the connections forged in the theater long ago continue to exist, echoing through the present. The Fallon Theater's spirits, if they indeed remain, serve as an enduring testament to the love stories, shared experiences, and communal memories that shaped the space, ensuring that its past will never be forgotten. The Virginia City Opera House, nestled in the heart of historic Virginia City, Nevada, stands as a testament to the grandeur and cultural significance of 19th-century theater. Built during the city's boom years, the Opera House has hosted countless performances, ranging from dramatic plays and vaudeville shows to concerts and community events. Its ornate balconies, wooden stage, and grand proscenium arch create an atmosphere that harkens back to an era when live performance was the primary source of entertainment and social gathering. Yet, beneath the elegance of its architecture lies a more mysterious and spectral layer, one that has long captivated both performers and visitors alike. The Opera House is renowned not just for its history, but for the unusual experiences reported by those who have stepped onto its stage or ventured into the wings. Many performers have recounted instances where they hear their names being called from the shadows, a voice echoing from behind curtains or along the empty corridors. Often, when they turn to investigate, no one is there. These incidents are not isolated. Multiple accounts over the years suggest that the theater retains the presence of actors who performed decades, even over a century ago, and who may not have entirely left the building. Some performers describe a fleeting sense of being observed, as if unseen eyes are following their movements across the stage. A sensation both unsettling and oddly motivating, as though the spirits are urging them to continue their craft. In addition to auditory phenomena, visual sightings are not uncommon. Visitors and staff alike have reported glimpses of shadowy figures moving across the stage, sometimes mimicking the gestures of actors performing long-forgotten scenes. Others have seen fleeting images of performers in period costumes standing near the wings or seated in the balcony, their expressions intent, their focus fixed on a performance only they can see. These apparitions often appear and vanish in the blink of an eye, leaving behind a palpable sense of history and an undeniable chill that fills the theater. The atmosphere of the Virginia City Opera House is further intensified by unexplained sounds that seem to originate from the very structure itself. Footsteps echo along the creaking wooden floors, sometimes running parallel with the movements of contemporary performers, yet clearly belonging to someone or something else. Doors swing open or close without cause, and props occasionally shift or topple as if moved by invisible hands. Stage lighting, sound effects, and other mechanical elements sometimes operate independently, heightening the sense that the theater is alive with more than just human activity. Many performers have come to respect these occurrences as part of the Opera House's unique charm. Rather than fear, some describe feeling an inexplicable companionship from these unseen actors, as though the theater preserves the energy of generations who once walked the boards. Rehearsals often become shared experiences between the living and the spectral, with a presence that seems to guide, encourage, or simply observe. Some directors have reported hearing cues being whispered, allowing performers to perfect lines and timing, while others have felt gentle nudges or cold touches that signal a moment in the performance. The structure of the Opera House itself seems to amplify the paranormal activity. Its high ceilings, wooden floors, and intricate architecture create perfect acoustic conditions for whispers and footsteps to travel unnaturally far, while shadows are thrown across the stage and balconies in ways that can confuse even the most seasoned observer. The wings, often dark and cramped, are reported to be the epicenter of ghostly activity. Performers have felt hands graze their shoulders or heard their names called while no one is present. The balcony is also a frequent site for sightings, with witnesses reporting the sudden appearance of figures in historical attire, as if the patrons of the past are returning to watch a show. Beyond these individual encounters, the Opera House has a reputation for influencing objects and the environment in subtle, inexplicable ways. Costumes sometimes appear slightly shifted or misplaced, props are found in different positions than left, and sound cues occasionally trigger spontaneously. Some visitors report an electric charge in the air or a sensation of sudden heaviness when entering certain areas, particularly near the backstage or under the balcony. All these experiences contribute to a pervasive sense that the building itself is imbued with the memories and energies of its long history of performances. Despite the ghostly phenomena, the Virginia City Opera House remains a cherished part of the community. It is not only a museum of local history, but also a functioning theater where contemporary performances continue to draw crowds. Audiences often comment on the unique energy of the space, noting moments that feel electric, charged, or oddly reminiscent of a past long gone. Performers have learned to embrace the idea that they are not alone on the stage, and that the echoes of the past can enrich the present, providing a depth of connection that few modern theaters can match. In conclusion, the Virginia City Opera House stands as a remarkable blend of history, architecture, and the supernatural. The persistent sightings of shadowy figures, the mysterious voices calling from the wings, the unexplained sounds of footsteps and doors, and the subtle manipulation of objects all contribute to its haunted reputation. Yet, rather than deterring performers or visitors, these phenomena create a space where the past and present coexist, allowing the spirits of former actors to linger among those who continue to perform. For anyone who steps onto its stage or wanders its corridors, the Virginia City Opera House offers more than a glimpse into history. It offers a direct encounter with the echoes of those who never truly left. The Carson City Community Center, located in the heart of Carson City, Nevada, serves as a hub for local gatherings, performances, and community events. Its halls are often filled with laughter, music, and the occasional applause from audiences enjoying theater productions, concerts, or lectures. Yet behind its seemingly ordinary facade lies a history layered with subtle and unsettling occurrences that have left many visitors and staff questioning what is truly present in the building. The most commonly reported phenomenon at the community center is the appearance of a mysterious figure. Attendees of performances often notice a man dressed in a formal suit, seated alone in the back row. This figure is always impeccably dressed, with an air of quiet authority and an almost timeless quality. What makes these sightings unnerving is the way the figure interacts with the spectator. More precisely, how he doesn't. When approached or closely observed, he vanishes without a trace, leaving behind only the eerie impression that he has been watching intently all along. This has led many to speculate that he may be a ghostly remnant of the center's past. Someone who perhaps had a deep connection to the arts or community gatherings in an earlier era. Visitors often describe a feeling of being observed, even when the figure is not in sight. Some performers report experiencing sudden chills while rehearsing on stage, accompanied by a sense that an unseen presence is monitoring their every movement. Others recount hearing subtle whispers or footsteps echoing from the back of the hall, even though no one else is present. These sensations are frequently reported during evening events or after the center has officially closed, suggesting that the activity is strongest when the space is quiet and empty. The architecture and design of the center may contribute to these eerie encounters. The long, echoing hallways, the high ceilings in the main auditorium, and the wooden flooring create perfect acoustics for footsteps and whispers to travel in unexpected ways. Shadows from stage lighting or exit signs often fall in strange patterns along the walls, creating the impression of movement even when the room is empty. Several visitors have described seeing fleeting shapes or shadows pass across the perimeter of the auditorium, which disappear as soon as they attempt to focus on them. In addition to visual and auditory phenomena, objects within the community center have also been reported to behave in unusual ways. Chairs occasionally shift or rock slightly when no one is nearby, and props used for performances are sometimes found in different positions than when they were left. Small items such as programs or personal belongings have gone missing only to reappear in unlikely places, adding to the sense that the center itself may be influenced by some unseen force. Some staff members have reported lights flickering spontaneously, particularly in hallways or in the auditorium during off hours, further reinforcing the center's haunted reputation. Regular performers at the community center have developed a mixture of fascination and respect for these phenomena. Some describe feeling as though the figure in the back row is a silent mentor, observing and offering approval in ways that cannot be verbalized. Others find the presence unsettling, particularly when preparing for major performances or during rehearsals that require quiet focus. Regardless of the emotional response, the ghostly figure has become an accepted part of the center's atmosphere, a reminder of the deep history that seems to linger within its walls. Community members have also reported experiences outside of performances. Evening meetings, rehearsals, or private tours often bring about a sense of being watched, along with occasional sounds of footsteps echoing along empty corridors. Some visitors have claimed to hear faint, indistinct whispers, as though someone is offering guidance or commentary from another time. These occurrences are rarely frightening in a violent or aggressive way. Rather, they create a subtle, persistent sense that the building holds memories, impressions, and perhaps spirits of those who once occupied it. The story of the formal-suited figure has been recounted so many times that it has become part of the local lore. Community members speak of him with a mixture of curiosity and reverence, treating him almost as a guardian of the center's ongoing activities. Many believe he may have been a patron, a founder, or a longtime supporter of the arts in Carson City, someone whose dedication was so profound that a part of his presence remains tied to the space. Others speculate that the figure could be a residual energy, a lingering echo of past performances and gatherings that replays itself for those who visit. Despite the paranormal activity, the Carson City Community Center continues to thrive as a vital part of the community. Its halls still host performances, educational programs, and events that bring together people of all ages. Audiences often leave with stories not only of the entertainment they witnessed, but also of subtle, inexplicable moments. A fleeting shadow in the balcony, the soft sound of a chair moving on its own, or the quiet sense that someone unseen has been observing their experience. For many, these occurrences enhance the charm of the center, providing a tangible connection to the past and a lingering sense of mystery that sets it apart from any other venue in the region. In conclusion, the Carson City Community Center is more than a simple space for local events. It is a place where history, community, and the paranormal converge. From the ghostly figure in the back row to the whispers, footsteps, and moving objects reported by visitors, the center exudes an atmosphere that is both inviting and unsettling. Performers and guests alike are drawn into its enigmatic energy, finding themselves part of a story that extends far beyond the present moment. Whether the figure in the suit is a devoted patron, a past performer, or an echo of the building's rich history, one thing is clear: the Carson City Community Center continues to hold the presence of those who have never truly left, offering a unique and haunting experience to all who enter. The Elko Theater, a historic landmark in the heart of Elko, Nevada, stands as a testament to the entertainment and cultural life of the early 20th century. Built during a period when the town was bustling with travelers, miners, and locals seeking a touch of luxury and amusement, the theater quickly became a central hub for plays, vaudeville acts, and motion pictures. Its grand marquee and classic architectural details evoke a sense of nostalgia. But behind the polished wood and velvet curtains lies a history steeped in mystery and paranormal intrigue. One of the most frequently reported phenomena at the Elko Theater is the appearance of a mysterious man, often described as wearing a cowboy hat and period clothing that dates back decades. Patrons attending shows or films have recounted seeing him seated in the balcony, a silent observer with an air of authority and an unmistakable presence. He does not interact with others, nor does he react to the performances in a conventional way, yet his presence is unmistakable. Many have described an eerie feeling, as if the man is not merely watching the performance, but evaluating it, his gaze following the actors and audience alike with a quiet intensity. The origins of this spectral cowboy remain unknown, though local lore suggests he may have been a performer or theater regular who had a deep connection to the venue. Some speculate he was once a traveling cowboy actor, part of vaudeville or early Western stage productions, who found himself unable to leave the theater even in death. Others suggest he could have been a patron, a devoted supporter who spent countless evenings enjoying the arts within these walls. So much so that his spirit has become entwined with the theater itself. Regardless of his true identity, the sightings have been consistent for decades, and the cowboy's presence has become an integral part of the theater's haunted reputation. In addition to visual sightings, many patrons and staff report unusual auditory experiences. During performances, some have heard the faint sounds of footsteps in the balcony, even when no one else is present. Others describe hearing soft murmurs, as if someone is whispering encouragement or critique from above. Physical sensations are also frequently reported. Audience members seated near the back of the balcony or stage frequently report sudden chills that have no obvious cause. Objects, such as programs or hats, have been found shifted from their original placement. And occasionally, curtains or stage props appear slightly moved, as though an invisible hand has adjusted them. While subtle, these occurrences collectively contribute to the sense that the theater itself is alive with the presence of its spectral observer. Staff members, particularly those involved in maintaining the theater or coordinating events, have also encountered strange phenomena. Some report hearing the sound of a chair scraping across the floor in the empty balcony, followed by a sudden drop in temperature. Others recount catching a glimpse of a shadowy figure moving along the upper walkway, only for it to vanish moments later. Maintenance crews working after hours often speak of tools or supplies appearing in unexpected locations, further fueling the belief that a restless presence lingers in the building. Performers have their own stories to tell. Actors and musicians have reported feeling a calm, encouraging presence while rehearsing, as if someone is silently observing their performance and offering approval. Some have described the sensation of being guided or accompanied during particularly difficult scenes or musical passages. While these experiences are subtle, they leave a lasting impression, making performers feel connected to the theater's past in an almost intimate way. Visitors to the Elko Theater have recounted similar experiences, often sharing stories of seeing the cowboy in the balcony and feeling watched. Many describe a sense of reverence rather than fear, as if the spirit's presence is protective rather than malevolent. Children attending shows have sometimes pointed to empty seats, claiming to see a man in a cowboy hat, only for adults to dismiss it as imagination. Yet photographs and recordings occasionally capture unexplained shadows or flickering lights that cannot be easily explained. The history of the theater only adds to the mystique. Opened in the early 1900s, the Elko Theater witnessed the rise of silent films, the golden age of cinema, and the influx of traveling performers during vaudeville's heyday. It has hosted countless productions, social gatherings, and community events. Over the decades, the building has endured renovations, changes in ownership, and periods of decline. Yet the stories of paranormal activity have persisted, passed down from generation to generation. This continuity has helped solidify the cowboy figure as a staple of local lore and a symbol of the theater's enduring connection to its past. For many, the presence of the cowboy in the balcony adds a unique dimension to the Elko Theater experience. Patrons often find themselves glancing toward the upper seats, half expecting to catch a glimpse of him, while performers may feel an invisible encouragement as they take the stage. The theater is not just a venue for entertainment, but a living repository of memory, emotion, and perhaps lingering spirits, bridging the gap between past and present in a way that few other locations can claim. Whether the cowboy is truly a ghost, a residual energy, or a figment of the imagination brought on by the theater's rich history and ambience, one thing is certain. The Elko Theater holds stories that go beyond the performances it hosts. Its haunted presence invites visitors and performers alike to consider the weight of history and the possibility that some spirits, particularly those tied to art and performance, may never leave the spaces they love. The mysterious figure in the balcony, silent and observant, stands as a poignant reminder of this connection. Forever part of the Elko Theater's enduring legacy of intrigue and haunted beauty. The Fallon Theater, a historic cultural landmark in the heart of Fallon, Nevada, has long been a center for entertainment and community gatherings. From the moment it opened its doors in the early 20th century, the theater attracted crowds eager for live performances, silent films, and later, talkies. Its elegant facade and ornate interior reflected the pride of a community eager to embrace arts and culture. Over the decades, the Fallon Theater has hosted countless performances, community events, and social gatherings, leaving behind a rich history woven into its very walls. Yet, alongside its storied past, the theater has garnered a reputation for something far less tangible: paranormal activity that hints at the lingering presence of spirits from bygone days. Visitors and staff alike have reported experiences that defy logical explanation. Among the most commonly cited phenomena is the sound of a piano playing when no musician is present. The music is often described as soft, melodic, and hauntingly beautiful, drifting through empty halls and echoing across the stage. Some say the tune is reminiscent of old vaudeville numbers or songs popular in the theater's early years. The eerie quality of the piano's notes suggests the hand of a skilled performer, one who perhaps never truly left the space, continuing to play for an audience that can no longer see them. Many visitors first notice the unusual sounds upon entering the theater late in the evening or during periods when the building is otherwise empty. A faint strain of music seems to emanate from the piano on the stage, sometimes accompanied by the subtle creaking of the floorboards or the whisper of unseen footsteps. People who have been present often describe a sense of being watched or guided, as if an invisible presence is moving through the aisles or hovering near the stage. The atmosphere is both unnerving and oddly comforting, a reminder of the theater's vibrant past and the lives that were once intertwined with its performances. In addition to auditory experiences, some witnesses report visual phenomena. Shadowy figures have been seen moving along the edges of the stage or near the balcony, disappearing when approached. These apparitions are often fleeting, yet their presence is palpable. Staff members have recounted moments when stage curtains flutter without a draft, lights flicker inexplicably, or props are subtly displaced after being carefully arranged. Such occurrences suggest a lingering connection between the theater and the performers and patrons who once animated it. The theater's haunted reputation is strengthened by stories passed down from older community members. Longtime residents recall seeing couples holding hands in the balcony during performances, only to find the seats empty moments later. Children visiting for school events or local productions have sometimes reported seeing smiling figures near the orchestra pit, or hearing soft laughter from empty corners. These collective experiences create an impression that the theater itself is alive, carrying the echoes of joy, drama, and music through time. Performers, in particular, seem to be affected by the theater's ghostly presence. Actors and musicians often describe the sensation of being accompanied during rehearsals, feeling invisible encouragement from unseen observers. Some have even reported hearing lines whispered from the wings or guidance offered through subtle cues in the theater's acoustics. While these experiences are difficult to quantify, many artists find comfort in the idea that the spirits of past performers continue to share their love for the stage, offering inspiration and companionship from beyond. Staff who work behind the scenes also recount moments that defy explanation. The sound of a door opening and closing, the subtle shifting of furniture, or the sudden appearance of cold spots in specific areas are recurring phenomena. Some employees have claimed to feel the presence of someone standing nearby, only to turn and see empty space. These incidents are not malevolent, but rather suggest the ongoing presence of individuals deeply connected to the theater's history. It is as if the Fallon Theater is not merely a building, but a repository of memories, with the past and present coexisting in a shared space. The Fallon Theater's architecture itself contributes to the eerie ambience. Its high ceilings, polished wood floors, and intricate moldings create excellent acoustics, allowing sounds to carry and echo in ways that can blur the line between natural and supernatural. Shadows cast by the ornate balcony railings and stage lights create shapes that seem to move independently, enhancing the feeling that unseen observers are present. Even during daylight hours, the theater exudes an aura of quiet reverence, a place where time seems to stretch and the echoes of history resonate in the air. Over the years, paranormal enthusiasts and curious visitors have flocked to the Fallon Theater, drawn by its reputation as a haunted landmark. Investigators equipped with audio and visual recording devices have reported capturing faint sounds of piano keys, whispers, and unexplained movement on film or audio tracks. These experiences have only deepened the theater's mystique, creating a narrative that blends history, legend, and unexplained phenomena. The stories serve as a reminder that the theater is more than just a venue for entertainment. It is a living monument to the countless lives that pass through its doors, their presence lingering long after the final curtain call. For those who visit the Fallon Theater, the ghostly activity becomes part of the experience. Patrons may hear a soft piano melody during an evening performance or catch a glimpse of a shadow moving across the stage. Some feel an inexplicable chill or the comforting impression that someone unseen is nearby. Whether a skeptic or a believer, it is difficult to deny the profound connection between the theater and its spectral residents. The Fallon Theater remains a place where past and present meet, where the music of yesterday continues to play, and where the spirits of performers long gone may still be taking their final bows. The Ely Theater, nestled in the quiet, remote town of Ely, Nevada, stands as a relic of both entertainment history and the unexplained. Since its opening in the early 20th century, it has been a cultural hub for the small mining community, hosting live performances, films, and community events. Despite its modest size, the theater quickly became an important gathering place, offering locals a brief escape from the harsh realities of frontier life. Over the decades, countless performances have taken place on its modest stage, and the echoes of these past events seem to have left an imprint on the building itself. Today, the Ely Theater is renowned not only for its historical significance, but also for its reputation as a site of paranormal activity, drawing both locals and thrill-seekers to witness its ghostly occurrences firsthand. One of the most commonly reported phenomena at the Ely Theater is the sound of footsteps in the aisles. Visitors frequently describe hearing the soft shuffle of shoes moving across the worn wooden floors. Yet, when they look around, the theater appears completely empty. The footsteps vary in pace, sometimes slow and deliberate, as if someone is pacing in thought, and other times quick, almost hurried, as if trying to catch a performance that has long since ended. Patrons often find themselves pausing mid-step, hearts racing, only to hear the faint echo of the footsteps fade into silence. It is as though the theater itself preserves the presence of long-gone attendees, continuing their nightly routines for eternity. Alongside these auditory experiences, visual encounters are also widely reported. Shadowy figures are said to move along the stage and in the darkened corners of the theater, often vanishing when approached. Some witnesses describe these figures as fleeting silhouettes, while others claim to see fully formed apparitions, dressed in attire reminiscent of past decades. There are accounts of performers from bygone eras rehearsing silently on the stage, their forms shimmering in the dim lighting, repeating lines or gestures with meticulous precision. The isolated location of Ely adds to the theater's haunting quality. The surrounding desert and mountain landscapes make the theater feel removed from the modern world, as though time inside its walls flows differently from the outside. The experiences at the Ely Theater are not limited to chance encounters. Staff and volunteers report frequent strange occurrences while preparing for events. Lights flicker inexplicably, doors open and close on their own, and props sometimes shift from their original positions. During setup, some have reported hearing whispering voices that cannot be attributed to anyone in the building. These whispers are soft, fragmented, and often appear to come from the wings of the stage, adding to the sense that the theater's spirits are actively engaged with the performances, maintaining their presence even in the absence of a live audience. Patrons have also shared accounts of temperature fluctuations, particularly near the stage and in the balcony. Sudden cold drafts sweep through the theater without any apparent source, sending shivers down the spines of those present. These cold spots often coincide with other supernatural phenomena, such as the faint smell of perfume or tobacco, lingering long after anyone with a scent has left the premises. Many theorists suggest that these sensory impressions are residual echoes of previous theatergoers, performers, or staff who left a spiritual imprint on the location. The isolated environment of Ely seems to amplify these experiences, as there are fewer distractions to explain away the phenomena as ordinary occurrences. Some of the more extraordinary reports come from those who have stayed late after hours. Individuals exploring the theater alone have recounted the sensation of being gently guided toward the stage, as if unseen hands are nudging them along. Others claim to have glimpsed figures sitting in the balcony, watching silently, their presence felt even when they cannot be seen clearly. A handful of courageous souls have brought audio recording devices, capturing faint, disembodied voices, whispering fragments of lines from long-forgotten plays, or responding to questions posed aloud. These recordings suggest an active presence that interacts with those who enter the theater, hinting at a community of spirits bound to the space. The Ely Theater's design and architecture contribute to its spectral ambience. The creaking wooden floors, high ceilings, and narrow aisles create natural acoustics that amplify sounds and cast shadows in unexpected ways. The old stage, complete with heavy curtains and a simple backdrop, becomes a focal point for paranormal activity. Even small movements, like the rustle of curtains or the sway of props, are magnified in this setting, giving the impression of movement where none should exist. The theater's age, combined with its remote location, reinforces the idea that it is a place where history lingers, preserved and replayed by unseen inhabitants. Over time, the Ely Theater has become a destination not just for entertainment enthusiasts, but also for paranormal investigators and curious travelers seeking an encounter with the unknown. Local legend and first-hand experiences have cemented its reputation as one of the most haunted theaters in Nevada. Whether it is the echoing footsteps, the flickering lights, the shadowy figures, or the ghostly whispers, visitors consistently find themselves questioning what is real and what belongs to the world beyond. The theater continues to operate as a cultural venue, yet each performance is accompanied by the subtle presence of spirits who refuse to leave, maintaining the energy of the past and reminding audiences that history is never truly silent. For those willing to venture into its dimly lit aisles, the Ely Theater offers a unique experience. It is a place where the echoes of laughter, applause, and music blend seamlessly with the unexplained. Every creak of the floorboards, every flicker of light, and every soft whisper in the air serves as a testament to the enduring presence of those who once lived, worked, and performed within its walls. The theater remains a bridge between past and present, a reminder that some performances never truly end, and that the ghosts of Ely continue to take their place in the audience forever, watching, listening, and performing in the shadows of history. The Winnemucca Theater, nestled in the quiet town of Winnemucca, Nevada, is a building rich with history, culture, and an unsettling sense of the unknown. Constructed in the early 20th century, the theater quickly became the heart of the community, hosting everything from vaudeville shows to live music performances, plays, and community gatherings. Its ornate facade and welcoming interior made it a local landmark, a place where people came not just for entertainment, but to experience the vibrancy of shared artistic expression. Yet beneath the cheerful lights and the echoes of laughter lies a darker, more mysterious story, one that has drawn attention from paranormal enthusiasts and curious visitors alike. Over the years, the Winnemucca Theater has gained a reputation as a haunted location, where the echoes of the past continue to linger in ways both audible and visible. Many of the theater's paranormal encounters revolve around the inexplicable sounds of a woman's singing. Patrons and staff alike have reported hearing a soft, haunting voice rising from the empty stage, filling the auditorium with notes that seem to float on the stale air. The singing is described as melodic yet mournful, carrying a resonance that suggests it belongs to someone long gone. Some visitors have felt compelled to follow the sound, only to find the stage empty, the curtains unmoved, and no one present in the wings. It is as if the performer continues to rehearse her pieces for an audience that has long since disappeared, repeating her art in an endless echo of devotion. Alongside the mysterious singing, the Winnemucca Theater is known for the presence of shadowy figures. Witnesses have described fleeting silhouettes crossing the stage, slipping behind curtains, or vanishing into the dark corners of the balcony. These figures are often indistinct, their features obscured by dim lighting or heavy shadows. Yet their movements suggest intent. Some appear to be performers from a bygone era, still trapped in the routines of their daily work, while others seem more like lingering audience members, watching silently from the shadows. The theater's isolation and historic charm amplify these experiences, creating an atmosphere where the line between the living and the spectral blurs. The interior of the Winnemucca Theater contributes significantly to its eerie ambience. Creaking wooden floors, high ceilings, and narrow aisles enhance every sound, making ordinary movements feel amplified and uncanny. The stage itself, with its heavy curtains and polished wood, often seems alive, reacting to unseen presences. Props are occasionally found out of place, chairs may shift slightly, and doors that were firmly closed the night before are sometimes found ajar in the morning. Staff members preparing for performances have reported hearing whispering voices in the wings, catching the faint echoes of lines from old plays, or even sensing the gentle pressure of an unseen hand guiding them across the stage. Visitors have also described sudden drops in temperature throughout the building. Cold drafts sweep across the auditorium, sometimes in direct paths that follow the movement of the spectral figures. These cold spots are often accompanied by auditory phenomena, the soft creak of floorboards, the rustle of curtains, or the echo of distant applause. Many believe that these sensations are residual energies, remnants of the countless performances that have taken place in the theater. The echoes of past actors, singers, and audience members seem to linger, replaying fragments of their lives and work for those attuned enough to notice. Another common experience involves the lights. The Winnemucca Theater has an old electrical system, but many occurrences cannot be explained by faulty wiring alone. Lights flicker, chandeliers sway slightly, and stage lamps illuminate without any power source being active. In some cases, these light anomalies coincide with the sound of singing or movement on the stage, giving the impression that the theater itself is bringing the past to life, creating a spectral performance for those brave enough to witness it. Several accounts from longtime residents and theater staff suggest a more personal connection to the spirits within the building. Some performers have reported feeling as if someone is standing just behind them, observing every motion, even when alone. Others have claimed to see the reflection of a figure in the mirrors used for costume and makeup, only to turn and find the space empty. These encounters are often fleeting but leave a lasting impression, reinforcing the belief that the theater is not simply a historical building but a living, breathing repository of memories and energy. Paranormal investigators and enthusiasts frequently visit the Winnemucca Theater, drawn by its reputation for active spirits. Equipment often captures EVP's electronic voice phenomena that include fragments of singing, whispers, and occasional spoken words. Some investigators have captured temperature spikes and drops corresponding to the presence of apparitions or movement detected by infrared cameras. These findings, while not conclusive, add to the theater's mystique and reputation as one of Nevada's haunted locations. The combination of history, architecture, and unexplained phenomena makes the Winnemucca Theater a unique destination. It is a place where the past feels tangible, where the echoes of performances long concluded continue to ripple through the air. Every creak, every flicker of light, and every distant note of singing serves as a reminder that the theater is more than a building. It is a vessel for memories, emotions, and perhaps even the souls of those who devoted their lives to art and entertainment. For those who enter the Winmucca Theater after dark, the experience is unforgettable. The haunting melodies, fleeting shadows, and cold drafts create an atmosphere that is both thrilling and chilling. It is a location where the line between performance and reality is blurred, where spirits of the past continue to engage with the present, and where the show, quite literally, never ends. Visitors leave with stories, photos, and recordings, yet many carry with them the lingering sense that the theater itself is alive, watching, listening, and performing endlessly in the shadows of Nevada's history. The Battle Mountain Theater, situated in the small town of Battle Mountain, Nevada, has long been a cultural centerpiece, hosting plays, concerts, and community gatherings since its establishment in the early 20th century. With its ornate facade and grand interior, the theater has always drawn audiences eager to experience the magic of live performance. However, behind its elegant architecture lies a haunting legacy that has intrigued both locals and paranormal enthusiasts. Over the decades, countless visitors have reported unusual occurrences within the theater, and a specific figure has become the center of its ghostly lore. A man in a top hat, often seen sitting in the balcony, observing the shows with an intensity that seems to transcend time. The first whispers of paranormal activity began when theater patrons noticed small, inexplicable details during evening performances. Chairs would creak in the balcony when no one was present, and the sound of soft footsteps echoed across the empty aisles. Some audience members reported the sudden sensation of being watched, particularly when glancing toward the balcony. At first, these incidents were dismissed as tricks of the mind or the natural settling of an aging building. But over time, the accounts grew more consistent and more unsettling. Many claimed to have seen a distinguished man in a formal top hat and coat, seated high above the stage, his face partially obscured by shadows. He appeared calm, yet unmistakably aware of the ongoing performance, as if reliving his favorite show from decades past. Stagehands and performers began to share similar experiences. Actors rehearsing late at night reported feeling a presence observing them, often coinciding with glimpses of a shadowy figure in the balcony. Costumes would occasionally shift on their racks. Scripts were sometimes found open to pages that had no scheduled rehearsals, and lights would flicker unexpectedly, especially near the balcony area. Several performers recounted hearing the faint murmur of applause or the soft click of polished shoes on the balcony floor, even when they were alone. These phenomena contributed to the belief that the top-hatted figure was the spirit of a former patron, forever drawn to the theater, unable or unwilling to leave the place where he had once enjoyed countless performances. Audience members also reported peculiar experiences during live shows. Some claimed that, while watching a dramatic scene, they would catch a reflection in the balcony railing of a figure leaning forward, hands clasped together, intently following every movement on stage. Others felt sudden cold drafts sweeping down from the balcony, chilling the room without any apparent source. Whispers of old lines and dialogue occasionally drifted through the theater, spoken in voices that were too faint to identify, yet eerily familiar to those who had frequented the building for years. These experiences, while subtle, left a lasting impression, creating an aura of both fascination and apprehension. The building itself amplifies these occurrences. Its high ceilings, narrow corridors, and wooden floors give every sound a resonance, turning ordinary creaks into something ghostly. The balcony, with its intricate railing and vintage seating, is a focal point for many of the reported phenomena. When a show is in full swing, the presence of the top-hatted figure seems almost tangible, as if the theater itself allows him to participate once more. Visitors often describe a sense of anticipation or tension when glancing toward the balcony, a feeling that they are sharing the performance with an unseen, discerning audience member from another era. Paranormal investigators have visited the Battle Mountain Theater repeatedly, seeking evidence of the supernatural. Electronic voice phenomena, EVP recordings, have captured faint murmurs and the occasional laughter, believed to belong to the top-hatted patron. Infrared cameras and motion detectors have sometimes detected movement in the balcony area. Although no one is physically present, these findings, while inconclusive to skeptics, have added to the legend of the theater and reinforced the belief that the spirit is connected to the performances. Drawn inexorably to the art he loved in life, some locals offer historical explanations for the presence of the spectral figure. It is said that the man in the top hat was a devoted patron in the theater's early days, someone whose life revolved around attending performances. He may have passed away before his time, leaving his spirit eternally tethered to the balcony, forever watching the shows he cherished. Others believe that the theater itself acts as a magnet for memories and emotions, preserving fragments of those who were most deeply attached to it. In either case, the experiences are real enough to those who witness them, adding an extra layer of intrigue and mystery to every visit. Visitors who enter the Battle Mountain Theater today are often captivated not just by its architecture and performances, but by the stories that permeate the walls. Whether they attend a community play, a concert, or a private rehearsal, the awareness of the top-headed figure adds an unspoken thrill to the experience. Cameras have occasionally captured unexplained shadows or flickers of movement, and countless accounts continue to pour in, each adding to the theater's growing lore. The combination of history, performance, and ghostly presence makes the Battle Mountain Theater a unique and memorable destination. It is a place where the echoes of the past remain alive, where the boundary between the living audience and the lingering spirit is blurred, and where the performances of yesteryear continue to unfold in spectral form. For those who visit after dark, the sensation of being watched by the top-headed patron is both unnerving and mesmerizing. A reminder that in this theater, the love for performance transcends life and death. Whether a skeptic or a believer, anyone who spends time in the Battle Mountain Theater leaves with the impression that the shows are never truly over. The echoes of applause, the faint strains of music, and the presence of the enigmatic figure in the balcony ensure that the spirit of performance remains eternal, drawing visitors into an experience that is equal parts history, art, and the supernatural. It is a theater where the audience is never truly alone, and the past is never truly gone. The Lovelock Theater, nestled in the quiet town of Lovelock, Nevada, has long served as a cornerstone of the community, hosting plays, movies, concerts, and local gatherings for decades. With its classic marquee and timeless interior, it evokes the golden age of entertainment, a place where families and friends came together to share in the magic of live performances and cinematic experiences. However, beneath its welcoming facade, the theater harbors a mysterious and haunting presence that has intrigued locals and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Over the years, countless visitors have reported unusual encounters, the most striking of which involves a spectral couple seated quietly in the back row, holding hands, a sight that leaves even the most skeptical observers unsettled. The first reports of the ghostly couple date back several decades. Theatergoers claimed that, during late-night screenings or evening performances, their eyes would be drawn to the back row, where they would see two figures sitting together, seemingly lost in the show. The couple, dressed in clothing reminiscent of the early 20th century, would sit in silence, their faces often obscured by shadows, yet their presence was unmistakably human. What startled witnesses the most was the eerie stillness of the figures. They never spoke, never shifted in their seats, and yet seemed fully engaged with the performance unfolding before them. Those who attempted to approach the couple were met with an unsettling experience. As one might cautiously make their way down the aisle, the figures would vanish into thin air, leaving behind only an empty row of seats and a lingering sense of unease. Some visitors described the cold chill sweeping across the theater, as if the couple's departure carried a fragment of their presence with it. Others reported the faint rustling of clothing or the soft creak of floorboards, further suggesting that the apparitions were more than mere shadows or tricks of light. These repeated sightings quickly became the subject of local lore, and the Lovelock Theater gained a reputation as a haunted space where the past refused to rest. Performers and staff have shared equally eerie experiences. Actors rehearsing on the stage at night have spoken of a feeling of being observed from the back row. Some report hearing whispers that seem too faint to decipher, accompanied by the soft echo of footsteps. Staff working late in the projection booth or lobby have recounted glimpses of figures moving in their peripheral vision, only to vanish when looked at directly. The theater itself seems to amplify these encounters. Its wooden floors, high ceilings, and narrow aisles carry every sound, turning ordinary creaks into ghostly footfalls and shadows into more tangible shapes. Many believe that the couple represents a love story frozen in time, to patrons whose lives were tragically cut short, or perhaps a pair so devoted to the theater that their spirits remain tethered to it. Some suggest they may have been regulars in the early years of the Lovelock Theater, attending countless performances together. Their presence a constant and comforting fixture for the local community. Others theorize that the theater acts as a vessel for lingering memories and emotions, preserving the essence of those who were most connected to it. Whatever the truth, the sightings are remarkably consistent, and they continue to captivate and unnerve those who enter the historic venue. The theater itself contributes to the spectral atmosphere. Its vintage architecture, complete with ornate trim, plush seating, and classic light fixtures, evokes a bygone era when attending the theater was an event filled with elegance and anticipation. During evening performances, the glow from the stage lights casts long shadows down the aisles, creating an environment where imagination and reality easily blur. Witnesses often describe a heightened sense of awareness, feeling as if they are sharing the performance, not just with the living audience, but with unseen attendees who have crossed the boundary between life and death. Paranormal investigators have been drawn to the Lovelock Theater over the years, hoping to capture evidence of the ghostly couple. Many have reported unusual readings on electromagnetic field detectors, capturing unexplained cold spots or fluctuations in temperature near the back row. Some have recorded faint whispers or indistinct voices on audio devices, while infrared cameras occasionally detect movement where no person is present. Although these findings are often inconclusive to skeptics, they lend further credence to the accounts of those who have witnessed the couple firsthand. Audience members frequently describe a mix of fascination and fear when they notice the figures. Some feel a profound sense of melancholy, as if witnessing a love story that never ended, while others experience a sudden, almost tangible tension, as though the apparitions are aware of the living and the performance simultaneously. The vanishing of the couple only intensifies the mystique, leaving visitors to wonder whether they are truly witnessing ghosts or merely glimpses of collective memory. The Lovelock Theater continues to host community events, movie screenings, and live performances, yet the presence of the ghostly couple remains a defining feature of its history. Patrons enter with anticipation, knowing that their experience may extend beyond the ordinary. Some leave with stories of the figures, others with a shiver or a lingering curiosity about what lies just beyond the visible. In every case, the theater is transformed from a mere building into a space where the past and present coexist, where the love for performance and, perhaps love itself, transcends mortality. Whether one believes in ghosts or not, the Lovelock Theater offers a glimpse into a world where time seems to pause and the echoes of the past remain palpable. The couple in the back row, holding hands, serves as a reminder that some connections are never broken, that some souls never truly leave, and that the magic of the theater endures, not just on stage, but in the shadows, in the air, and in the hearts of those who witness its haunting presence. Visitors depart with stories to tell, hearts slightly heavier with wonder, and the unshakable feeling that in the Lovelock Theater, love and mystery are eternal. The Yerington Theater, nestled in the quiet town of Yerington, Nevada, stands as a testament to small-town entertainment and the rich history of performing arts in the region. Built in the early 20th century, the theater has welcomed generations of visitors, offering movies, live performances, and community events. Its classic marquee and vintage interior evoke a bygone era, where evenings spent at the theater were treasured occasions. However, beneath its charming facade lies a mysterious presence that has captivated locals and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Many who have stepped inside the Yarrington Theater over the years have reported inexplicable phenomena, most notably the haunting strains of a violin that seem to play on their own, filling the empty space with music that is as beautiful as it is unsettling. The first accounts of ghostly activity in the Yarrington Theater date back decades, with performers and staff alike noticing unusual occurrences during evening shows. One of the most frequent reports involves the sound of a violin playing softly, often during intermissions or after the audience has gone home. Witnesses describe the music as melancholic, yet hauntingly melodic, echoing through the hall in a way that seems impossible for an empty theater. Even when the stage is devoid of performers and the orchestra pit is unoccupied, the music persists, a spectral echo of a bygone era. Visitors have often paused in their seats, straining to see who might be playing, only to find that no one is present, the stage and aisles entirely vacant. The source of the violin music has been a topic of speculation for years. Some believe it is the spirit of a former musician who once performed in the theater, perhaps someone who died before completing their life's work, tethered forever to the place where their music once brought joy. Others suggest that the theater itself, with its wooden floors, ornate ceilings, and long history, has absorbed the energy of countless performances, allowing echoes of the past to manifest in ghostly sound. Regardless of the explanation, the consistency of these reports has solidified the theater's reputation as a place where the living and the dead intersect through music. Beyond the eerie violin, other paranormal activity has been reported in the Yarrington Theater. Patrons and staff have recounted feeling sudden drops in temperature near the stage, as if an unseen presence has passed through. Shadowy figures are occasionally glimpsed, moving along the aisles or peeking from the wings, vanishing when anyone attempts to focus on them. Some visitors have even reported the faint smell of old wood, rosin, and leather scents associated with orchestral performances and theatrical life lingering in empty rooms, reinforcing the sense that the spirit of the theater itself is alive and aware. Performers, too, have shared unsettling experiences. Actors rehearsing on stage at night have spoken of an invisible audience, a feeling of being watched from the darkened seats. Occasionally, they hear whispers or faint applause that seems to emanate from nowhere, as if unseen patrons are still engaging with the performance. Musicians working late in the orchestra pit report hearing tuning and plucking of strings when no one is present, particularly the unmistakable timbre of a violin. These experiences, though often brief, are vivid enough to leave a lasting impression and a sense that the Yarrington Theater is more than just a building. It is a repository of memories and emotions from generations past. Visitors who experience these phenomena often describe a mixture of fascination and unease. Some are drawn to the haunting beauty of the music, captivated by the thought that the spirit of a long-departed musician continues to perform. Others find the experience disconcerting, the eerie sounds and fleeting shadows creating a sense of vulnerability in what would otherwise be a familiar, welcoming space. Regardless of the reaction, nearly everyone leaves the theater with the feeling that they have glimpsed something beyond ordinary perception, a fleeting connection to the past that cannot easily be explained. Paranormal investigators have also taken an interest in the Yarrington Theater, hoping to capture evidence of its spectral activity. Many have reported cold spots near the stage and wings, electronic voice phenomena (EVPs) that capture faint musical notes or indistinct whispers, and occasional unexplained movement on infrared cameras. While skeptics remain unconvinced, the repeated and consistent accounts from staff, performers, and visitors suggest that there is something uniquely active about the theater, a presence that transcends time and space. The architecture of the theater contributes to its haunted atmosphere. The polished wooden floors, high ceilings, and vintage light fixtures amplify sounds, making ordinary creaks and rustles seem alive. Long aisles and shadowed corners provide an ideal environment for the imagination to take flight, and the lingering energy of countless performances seems to seep into every corner. In many ways, the Yarrington Theater serves as a time capsule, preserving the echoes of laughter, music, and applause from decades of patrons and performers. Today, the Yerington Theater continues to host films, concerts, and community events, yet it remains a space where the past feels vividly present. Visitors report the same haunting violin notes, the unexplained shadows, and the sense of being accompanied by unseen observers. The theater, steeped in history, serves as a reminder that some performances never truly end, and some spirits never leave, continuing their artistry beyond the veil of mortality. Whether one believes in ghosts or not, stepping into the Yerington Theater is an invitation to experience the past in a tangible way. The sound of the unseen violin, drifting softly through the hall, embodies the lingering presence of those who once graced the stage. The theater is a place where music becomes more than sound. It is memory, emotion, and a bridge between the living and the spectral. Every visitor leaves with a story, a sense of wonder, and the knowledge that, in the Yerington Theater, the music of the past continues to play, filling the air with the haunting beauty of performances that will never be forgotten. The Lovelock Opera House, nestled in the quiet town of Lovelock, Nevada, has long been a cornerstone of the community's cultural life. Built in the late 19th century, the Opera House quickly became a hub for live performances. From theatrical productions to musical recitals, and even community gatherings, its ornate facade, elegant balconies, and polished wooden stage reflected the town's pride and ambition, attracting performers from across the region. Yet, beyond its historical charm, the Lovelock Opera House holds a darker reputation. Over the years, visitors, staff, and performers alike have reported a series of unexplainable events, giving rise to its status as one of Nevada's most haunted theaters. Among the most frequently reported phenomena is the appearance of a spectral woman in a long flowing dress. Multiple eyewitnesses claim to have seen her gliding across the stage or descending the grand staircase, moving with a grace that seems almost ethereal. Her presence is subtle at first, often glimpsed from the corner of the eye, but it becomes impossible to ignore when she appears fully in view. Those brave enough to approach the figure have consistently described her vanishing into thin air, leaving behind only the faint impression of warmth or a whispering sound that lingers in the theater long after she disappears. The origin of this mysterious figure is the subject of much speculation. Some believe she is the spirit of a former performer, perhaps a young actress or singer who met an untimely death during the Opera House's early years. Local legends suggest that she had been preparing for a starring role when tragedy struck, leaving her tied forever to the place where her dreams once came alive. Others speculate that the ghost could be a caretaker or patron from the past, someone whose devotion to the theater was so profound that they never truly left its walls. Whatever the truth, the consistent sightings of the woman in the long dress have made her the central figure in the Opera House's haunted lore. In addition to the apparition, the Lovelock Opera House is known for other unsettling occurrences. Staff have reported doors opening and closing on their own, particularly near the backstage area, where old props and costumes are stored. Flickering lights are common in the evening hours, and performers have described the sensation of being watched even when they are alone on stage. Footsteps echo across the polished floors, often in rhythm with music that seems to play from an invisible source. During rehearsals, some actors have recounted hearing soft applause, the rustle of fabric, or even whispered lines of dialogue, as if an unseen company were present, eager to participate in the performance. Visitors to the theater often feel a mixture of awe and apprehension. Many describe a cold draft sweeping through the auditorium without any explanation, followed by the sudden scent of perfume or old wood, smells reminiscent of a bygone era. Others report objects shifting slightly on their own, such as sheet music moving or a prop gently tipping over. These subtle, yet persistent, signs of activity have created an atmosphere where the past feels tangibly present, and the line between history and the supernatural blurs. The architecture of the Opera House itself contributes to its haunting ambience. High ceilings and expansive wooden beams amplify sounds, making creaks and whispers resonate through the empty auditorium. The velvet curtains, polished stage, and worn seats all carry the echoes of past performances, creating an environment ripe for paranormal activity. Even the balcony, with its vantage point over the stage, is a frequent spot for apparitions and unexplained movements. Many witnesses report seeing the figure of the woman in the long dress either gliding along the balcony railing or disappearing through a doorway that leads to nowhere. Paranormal investigators have shown interest in the Lovelock Opera House, using a variety of techniques to capture evidence of its haunted nature. Many have reported cold spots, EMF fluctuations, and even EVP recordings that pick up faint whispers, music, or unexplained laughter. While skeptics question the validity of these findings, the consistency and frequency of eyewitness accounts lend weight to the stories, establishing the Opera House as a site of undeniable paranormal intrigue. Performers who work in the Lovelock Opera House often develop their own stories of encounters. Some claim that during late-night rehearsals, the spectral woman will appear near the wings, observing their performance before vanishing. Others speak of seeing her reflection in mirrors, even when no one else is present. Musicians report hearing notes from instruments that no one is playing, particularly during quiet interludes. These experiences, while sometimes unsettling, are often described with a sense of reverence, as if the spirit is a guardian of the opera house's artistic legacy, despite or perhaps because of its haunted reputation. The Lovelock Opera House continues to operate as a community cultural center. Films, concerts, plays, and other events draw crowds who are sometimes unaware of the building's spectral history. Yet those who encounter the ghostly figure leave with stories that spread through the town, adding layers to the opera house's mystique. For many, the experience is a reminder that art, passion, and memory are powerful forces, capable of leaving traces that extend beyond the mortal realm. The Lovelock Opera House remains a living monument to the town's cultural heritage, a place where history and the supernatural coexist. The spectral figure in the long dress embodies the enduring connection between past and present, a symbol of a life once lived and a performance never forgotten. Those who visit are invited to witness not only the beauty of the theater itself, but also the lingering presence of those who gave it life. In every flicker of light, every echoing footstep, and every faint whisper of music, the Opera House tells a story that spans generations, proving that some spirits never leave, and some performances never truly end. The Eerie Opera House, nestled in the remote town of Eerie, Nevada, has stood as a cultural beacon since its construction in the early 20th century. With its brick facade classic marquee and elegant interior, the theater quickly became the heart of the community, hosting musical performances, plays, and social gatherings. Over the decades, generations of residents and visitors have walked through its doors, filling the hall with laughter, applause, and music. Yet beneath the grandeur of chandeliers and polished wooden floors, the Eerie Opera House holds a history that stretches beyond the realm of the living. Its walls seem to resonate with echoes of the past, and countless reports of paranormal activity have cemented its reputation as one of Nevada's most haunted theaters. Many of the eerie experiences reported at the Eerie Opera House involve the persistent sound of a piano playing, often heard in the dead of night when the theater is completely empty. Witnesses describe soft, melancholy tunes drifting from the stage, the notes clear and deliberate, as though a skilled pianist were seated at the grand piano. Visitors who venture into the theater after hours have reported following the sound, only to find the piano untouched and silent, with no explanation for the music that seems to linger in the air. The melodies are said to carry an emotional weight, evoking both nostalgia and an unsettling sense of longing, as though the spirit behind them is replaying memories it cannot leave behind. In addition to the mysterious music, shadowy figures have been sighted throughout the Opera House. Patrons have described fleeting glimpses of performers moving across the stage, disappearing when approached. Some claim to have seen the silhouette of a conductor, baton raised, guiding an invisible orchestra through a forgotten piece. Others report seeing figures in period attire lingering in the balcony or along the aisles, their presence fleeting but unmistakable. These apparitions often appear just out of the corner of the eye, leaving those who noticed them questioning whether what they saw was real or a trick of the dim theater lights. The history of the Ely Opera House contributes heavily to its haunted aura. Over the decades, countless performances took place here, some joyous and celebratory, others marked by tragedy. Anecdotes of performers falling ill or passing unexpectedly during shows have become part of the theater's lore, and many believe that the spirits of these individuals remain tethered to the building. Local legend speaks of a young pianist who once performed with unmatched talent but died suddenly before her career could flourish. It is widely believed that her spirit is responsible for the haunting melodies that echo through the opera house late at night, a final performance she cannot abandon. Unexplained noises extend beyond music alone. Footsteps echo through empty hallways. The sound of soft murmurs drifts across the auditorium, and the rustle of fabric is often reported in the backstage area. Some visitors claim that when they sit in the front row, they feel the gentle brush of a presence, as if an unseen entity is passing by. Doors have been observed to swing open on their own, and the theater's old heavy curtains sometimes move without any draft. Staff members who work late have reported lights flickering inexplicably, and cold spots appear in the theater for no apparent reason, particularly near the stage and in the balcony. The architectural design of the Ely Opera House adds to its supernatural atmosphere. The high ceilings, ornate moldings, and vast wooden floors create natural acoustics that carry even the faintest sound, amplifying footsteps, whispers, and music throughout the space. Velvet seats, polished balustrades, and the intricate stage framework all seem to hold traces of past performances, making the building itself feel alive with memories. Even those visiting for purely aesthetic reasons often leave with stories of unexplained occurrences, a sensation that something unseen is observing, guiding, or lingering among the theater's historic corners. Paranormal investigators and enthusiasts have long been drawn to the Ely Opera House. Many have recorded EVP's electronic voice phenomena that capture soft whispering, distant applause, or musical notes with no visible source. Some have used infrared cameras to capture shadowy movements along the stage or in the balcony, lending credence to the numerous eyewitness accounts. While skeptics question whether these occurrences are mere illusions or tricks of light and sound, the consistency of reports over decades suggests that the Opera House is indeed home to forces beyond the ordinary. Performers who work in the Ely Opera House often describe their experiences with a mixture of reverence and unease. Actors and musicians have recounted hearing faint applause after particularly moving performances, despite being the only ones in the hall. Even seasoned performers, accustomed to the quirks of an old theater, often find themselves startled by the subtle, inexplicable phenomena that persist within the opera house's walls. Visitors often leave with stories that blend history, mystery, and the paranormal. Many describe an initial sense of awe at the building's historic charm, quickly followed by an unsettling awareness of being in the presence of something unseen. The echoing piano, the shadowy figures, and the whispers all contribute to an atmosphere that is simultaneously enchanting and haunting. Guests leave with the impression that the Ely Opera House is not just a place of performance, but a repository for memories and spirits, a space where the past continues to echo into the present. Today, the Ely Opera House remains a functioning cultural venue, hosting concerts, plays, and community events, while maintaining its reputation as a site of paranormal intrigue. For those willing to explore after hours, the theater offers a glimpse into a world where music, history, and the supernatural intertwine. Each echo, each note, and each shadow tells a story of a bygone era, reminding visitors that in some places, the past never truly fades, and some performances never end. The Reno Little Theater, a modest yet cherished venue in the heart of Reno, Nevada, has been a hub of creativity and community performances for decades. Generations of local actors, musicians, and artists have graced its stage, filling the small auditorium with laughter, music, and the energy of live performance. Yet, beneath the theater's cheerful exterior lies a history steeped in mystery and eerie phenomena. that have left many visitors and staff unsettled, while the theater continues to operate as a center for the arts. Countless accounts of paranormal activity suggest that the spirits of performers past may never have left, continuing their roles long after the curtain has fallen. From the outside, the Reno Little Theater appears unassuming. Its brick facade, simple marquee, and small entrance doors give it the appearance of a quaint community theater. Once inside, however, the atmosphere shifts. Patrons and performers alike have noted an uncanny sensation that lingers in the air. A feeling that the theater is alive with memories and the unseen presence of those who once performed there. The stage itself, framed by heavy curtains and dim stage lights, is a focal point for these strange occurrences, drawing the attention of anyone who ventures to close after hours. Among the most frequently reported phenomena are fleeting shadows that dart across the stage during rehearsals. Actors have recounted moments when they are practicing a scene, only to see a figure appear momentarily at the corner of their vision before vanishing. These figures are often described as tall and indistinct, resembling performers in period attire. Some staff members insist that these shadows are not simple tricks of the light, noting that the movements sometimes follow the rhythm of rehearsed choreography or seem to interact subtly with actors on stage. The experience is both unnerving and fascinating, leaving witnesses questioning whether they are encountering a lingering memory or something more tangible. In addition to visual manifestations, the theater is known for unexplained auditory phenomena. The sound of footsteps echoing in the wings or along empty hallways is a common report, especially when the theater is otherwise deserted. Staff members have spoken of hearing the creak of the floorboards beneath an invisible weight, as though unseen actors are moving into position for a long-forgotten scene. These footsteps are often accompanied by faint whispers, unintelligible but unmistakably human, and occasionally by the soft rustle of fabric, reminiscent of a costume brushing against a stage prop. Visitors entering the building late in the evening have described a sensation of being watched, as if unseen eyes follow their every movement. The dressing rooms, where performers prepare before stepping onto the stage, have a particularly strong reputation for paranormal activity. Many report sudden drops in temperature, leaving them chilled despite the warmth of the theater. Some have felt cold hands brush past them or experienced a subtle pressure in the air, almost as though someone is standing directly behind them. Others have glimpsed shadowy figures moving past mirrors or disappearing as they turn to face them. These occurrences suggest that the spirits of former performers may linger in the very spaces where they once prepared, continuing rituals that were interrupted by time or tragedy. Staff and visitors have also reported electrical anomalies within the theater. Lights have been known to flicker unexpectedly. Stage equipment has powered on or off without explanation, and doors have opened or closed on their own. While some attribute these incidents to old wiring or building maintenance issues, the consistency and timing of these occurrences have convinced many that something more supernatural is at play. The Reno Little Theater's history may provide some clues as to why it remains haunted. The theater has hosted countless productions since its inception, ranging from comedies and dramas to musical performances. While many of these shows ended without incident, there were moments of tragedy and hardship as well. Accounts of performers falling ill, accidents occurring backstage, and untimely deaths have been passed down over the years. Some believe that these spirits are drawn to the theater by unfinished business or a deep attachment to the art form they loved, choosing to remain behind to continue their performances in the afterlife. Paranormal enthusiasts who visit the Reno Little Theater often remark on its unique combination of charm and eeriness. The intimate auditorium, the worn wooden floors, and the stage bathed in soft, dim light all create an environment conducive to experiencing the unexplained. Investigators using infrared cameras, motion sensors, and audio recording devices have reported capturing shadowy forms moving in the wings, unexplainable noises, and strange temperature fluctuations. Whether one interprets these findings as supernatural or simply atmospheric, the sheer volume of consistent reports over decades suggests that the theater holds a presence that cannot be ignored. Performers themselves often share mixed feelings about the haunting. Some find inspiration and comfort in the idea that previous artists still linger, guiding and observing their work. Others are unnerved, especially when hearing footsteps, whispers, or seeing figures that appear human, yet defy explanation. Many have noted that during rehearsals, particularly when the theater is empty late at night, the sensations of unseen attention become most intense, as though the past performers are actively participating in the creative process. This interaction with unseen presences adds an element of intrigue and suspense, making every visit to the Reno Little Theater both thrilling and unnerving. Visitors, too, often leave with tales of ghostly experiences. Many recount seeing moving shadows, hearing unexplained sounds, or feeling cold presences in unexpected places. Some describe the sensation of someone standing nearby even when the theater is deserted, and a few claim to have witnessed figures preparing for scenes long after the curtains have fallen. These stories reinforce the belief that the Reno Little Theater is not just a place for community performances, but a bridge between the living and the spectral remnants of past performers who cannot leave. Today, the Reno Little Theater continues to host live performances, workshops, and community events, while maintaining its reputation as a site of paranormal intrigue. Those who visit often find themselves captivated not only by the talent on stage, but by the theater's mysterious energy and haunting echoes of the past. In every creak of the floor, every whisper in the wings, and every shadow that flits across the stage, the spirit of the theater's history lingers, reminding all who enter that some performances never truly end. The Carson City Playhouse, nestled in the heart of Nevada's capital, has long been a beacon of local culture and live performance. For decades, it has hosted plays, musicals, and community events, drawing in audiences eager to witness the talents of local actors and performers. Yet behind the lively performances and bright stage lights lies a history steeped in eerie tales and unexplained occurrences that continue to intrigue visitors. Many believe the theater is haunted by the spirits of those who once lived and worked within its walls, their presence lingering long after the final curtain falls. Locals frequently speak of the ghost of a former stage manager, a figure who appears mostly near the backstage area. Descriptions vary slightly, but the common consensus is of a stern, silent presence, dressed in period clothing, carefully observing the actors as they move about the stage. Some performers have recounted moments when props seemed to be subtly repositioned or cues followed more smoothly than rehearsed, attributing these small miracles to the watchful ghost. Others report an almost tangible pressure in the air, as if the unseen manager is ensuring that everything proceeds according to an invisible script. Audience members have their own experiences, particularly during evening performances. Several have reported hearing applause and laughter that does not originate from the crowd, coming instead from the empty spaces around them. These sounds are often subtle at first, a faint rustle or murmur that gradually builds into the unmistakable sound of a full audience reacting. Some witnesses describe the sensation of being watched, a feeling so distinct that it distracts them from the performance on stage. Many find themselves glancing nervously toward the shadows, half expecting to see figures moving among the aisles or perched in the upper balcony seats, though no one is ever visible. The theater's architecture itself seems to contribute to the unnerving atmosphere. The wooden floors, worn by decades of footsteps, occasionally creak without explanation, even when the stage is empty. Heavy velvet curtains sway gently, as if disturbed by a passing figure, and the stage lights sometimes flicker inexplicably, casting long, distorted shadows along the walls. Some visitors have claimed that mirrors and glass surfaces occasionally reflect figures that are nowhere to be seen when turned toward them, giving the impression of performers from another era lingering just beyond the veil of reality. Many of the most compelling stories come from the performers themselves. Actors rehearsing late into the evening often recount experiences that cannot be explained by routine stagecraft. Footsteps echo behind them, matching rhythms that do not belong to anyone present. Doors have been known to open and close without touch, and sometimes props seem to shift subtly in preparation for a scene, as though guided by unseen hands. These events are rarely frightening in a malicious sense. Rather, they feel like the influence of an attentive presence, one dedicated to ensuring the show goes on, even if the performers themselves cannot see their spectral guide. The theater's long history helps explain the richness of its haunting. The Carson City Playhouse has been a hub for artistic expression for generations, with countless actors, stagehands, and audience members contributing to the energy of the building. Some of these individuals passed away while still connected to the theater, and locals suggest that their spirits simply never left. Over time, this accumulation of presence may have solidified into the distinct figure of the stage manager, a guardian of the performances and a reminder of the theater's enduring legacy. Even outside of performances, the Playhouse is known for strange occurrences. Maintenance staff have reported hearing faint voices while working alone in the empty building, whispering lines from old plays or softly exchanging stage directions. Temperature drops have been noted in certain corners of the backstage area, often coinciding with the appearance of a shadowy figure at the far end of the stage. Lights occasionally flicker despite new wiring, and equipment has been observed operating without being powered, further adding to the belief that the theater is alive with unseen activity. Visitors who attend evening shows often recount a distinct feeling that something unseen is present, guiding the performance. Some have reported glimpsing figures in period clothing moving across the stage or sitting quietly in the balcony seats, observing the action below. A few have even said that, during particularly emotional scenes, the presence of these unseen figures becomes almost palpable, as if the past and present are merging in a shared moment of theatrical history. Paranormal investigators drawn to the Carson City Playhouse have recorded unusual phenomena as well. Electronic voice phenomena, or EVPs, have captured soft, indistinct murmurs and occasional phrases that seem to correspond to stage directions or lines from past performances. Infrared cameras have detected movement in areas that appear unoccupied, and temperature sensors frequently register sudden, unexplained drops in certain corners of the theater. These findings, combined with the countless eyewitness accounts, have solidified the Playhouse's reputation as one of Nevada's most haunted performance venues. Despite or perhaps because of its spectral residents, the Carson City Playhouse continues to thrive. Actors, audience members, and staff alike have learned to accept the unusual activity as part of the theater's unique charm. Many find inspiration in the idea that the spirits of past performers continue to participate in the productions, lending an ethereal quality to each performance. In a way, the haunting serves as a living connection to the theater's rich history, a reminder that the art and passion of those who came before never truly vanish. Visitors leave the Carson City Playhouse with stories to tell, often describing the sensation of being part of a shared experience between the living and the spectral. The faint applause, the ghostly stage manager, and the subtle shifts of unseen hands create an atmosphere that is both unsettling and enchanting for those willing to embrace the mystery. Attending a performance at the Playhouse becomes more than just a night of theater. It is an encounter with the lingering echoes of artistic devotion, a performance that continues even when the audience has gone home. Whether one attributes the experiences to history, imagination, or the supernatural, the Carson City Playhouse stands as a testament to the enduring power of live performance and the lingering presence of those who loved the stage. In every shadow, every whisper, and every flicker of light, the theater reminds all who enter that some performances never truly end, and some actors never leave. As the final curtain falls on our journey through Nevada's haunted theaters, we leave behind the shadowed stages and whispering halls. The spirits of performers past may continue to roam these historic venues, their presence a reminder that the magic of the theater never truly dies. If you feel a chill or hear a whisper long after tonight's tale, remember it's only the actors rehearsing for an audience that never left. Thank you for joining us on this spectral tour. And until next time, keep your curiosity alive, and maybe, just maybe, you'll catch a glimpse of a ghostly performance when you least expect it.